really good running back in Larry Cascone and a young quarterback that's taking care of the football. How do you come out and slow down that running attack and maybe put the onus on a young quarterback to carry the team?
Well, you mentioned that's the game plan. Let's stop the run. They're really good on the offensive line. Number 7's a really good tailback. As you mentioned, Cascone's played fullback in the past. He's more of a power runner, really good downhill runner. Not maybe the biggest guy, but just really physical and does a great job. And their quarterback's playing really well. He's going to throw 1 interception, I think, in 3 games. And when they have an opportunity to play action pass, they're really good at it. So we've really worked on stopping the run and focusing on those deep balls. We were fortunate against Chillicothe. Totally different style of offense. St. Pius is very fast-paced, very up-tempo. They want to snap the ball as quick as possible. So compared to Chillicothe, we like to grind that clock. So we got to get some 3 and outs. And we got to get off the field and give our offense opportunities.
Coach Webb, thanks for the time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Maryville head coach Matt Webb will take a break. Back with your starting lineups on KXCV KRNW.
Support for Spoofhound football comes from Midwest Data Center, specializing in IT and cybersecurity services, including advanced threat monitoring, intrusion prevention, and zero trust solutions. Midwest Data Center, located just off the square in Maryville and online at mwdata.net. And from Nucor LMP on East 1st in Maryville, specializing in cold finish steel products while emphasizing safety for its employees. Nucor is a proud supporter of Spoofhound Athletics. For more information, 660-582-3127. And Compass Dental Group, providing full dentistry from braces and implants to same-day crowns and more, from doctors Bruce Twaddle, Brian Viertaler, and Spencer Twaddle. Compass Dental Group proudly supports Spoofhound Athletics. For information, compassdentalgroup.com. Support also comes from Oak Point in Maryville, an assisted living community that offers residents help with medications, meals, personal care, and more. For information on services or upcoming events, facebook.com/Oak Point of Maryville.
This Spoofhound broadcast is underwritten by FCS Financial of Maryville. FCS is a customer-owned ag lender that served Missouri for over a century with loans for farm equipment, livestock, beginning farmers, hunting land, rural homes, and more. For more information, myfcsfinancial.com. And from Hallelujah Counseling on South Main in Maryville, offering Christian-based mental health counseling. Services include anxiety and depression therapy, trauma counseling, stress management, relationship issues, and more. To schedule a consultation, 660-223-1700. Support also comes from Hy-Vee, a proud supporter of the Maryville R2 School District. Hy-Vee offers catering for game day or any special occasion, grocery delivery service, pharmacy with drive-thru, full-service floral shop, and more. For more information, Hy-Vee.com. Also from Laclede Chain Manufacturing on East 1st Street in Maryville. Laclede is a family-owned company producing various chains for hardware, industrial, smoke chains, and more. Additional information is available at LacledeChain.com.
You're tuned in to Maryville Spoofhound pregame on KXCV KRNW, underwritten by Northwest Cell.
Welcome back out to the Hound Pound, getting set for Maryville's home opener this evening as they'll take on St. Pius alongside Philip Horn. I'm Matt Tritton, starting lineups on the way, but first want to remind you that support for tonight's Spoofhound broadcast comes from Northwest Cell, serving the region for over 30 years. Along with nationwide coverage, Northwest Cell offers a wide selection of features, including unlimited plans. For more details on plans and devices, nwmcell.com. Philip, give us those starting lineups for the Spoofhounds.
All right, let's start with the defense. Give them a little love tonight. How about on the defensive line, number 35, junior, Major Scarborough. You've got Wesley Sneed. He's a senior. Phoenix Phillips, he's your sophomore. Lucas Viertaler, a junior. Your linebacking core, they're going to be busy tonight. Delton Davis, senior. Sadler View, number 33, a sophomore. Tucker Turner, number 26, a senior. And then your defensive backs, they're going to have their hands full, but again, they are a capable bunch. And we've got 3 seniors and a junior. Senior Wyatt Garner, senior Boston Hageman, senior Colton Amy, and junior Cole Zarbano. On the offensive side of the ball, not a lot of changes. Wide receiver Delton Davis. Offensive line, you've got sophomore Phoenix Phillips. You've got freshman Mace McKim, senior Owen Wonderly, senior Landon Liebhart, senior Lucas Viertaler. Your tight end tonight is Cooper Gassler. Your running backs, we'll see a trio of those. Senior Don Allen, senior Tucker Turner, senior Colton Amy, and your starting quarterback for tonight is Derek Quinlan. There are your starters for tonight's ball game. Your captains, Derek Quinlan, Delton Davis, Owen Wonderly, and Wyatt Garner.
just about set for the coin toss as both captains for both sides ready to head toward midfield before they do that. And before the opening kickoff, let's step aside. We will be back with more here on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe.
Support for today's broadcast comes from Northwest Cell, serving the region for over 30 years. Along with nationwide coverage, Northwest Cell offers a wide selection of features, including unlimited plans. For more on plans and devices, nwmcell.com. And from Maryville Shelter Insurance Agent Brad Ford, a proud supporter of the Spoof Hounds. Brad provides coverage for auto, home, life, and business, 24 hours claims assistance, and insurance reviews. More at 562-2911 or at 102 North Buchanan. Also from the United States Air Force, offering more than 130 career choices, education, benefits, and more. Full and part-time opportunities are available now. For more information, Technical Sergeant Katrina Smith can be reached at 816-341-8227 or airforce.com. And from Northwest AV on East 3rd Street in Maryville. Northwest AV offers business and residential design and installation on projects including home theaters, vehicle remote starts, surveillance cameras, and more. Details at nw-av.com.
Support for Spoof Hound Athletics comes from Millen Dinsdale Seed, serving farmers across the region for over a decade. Millen Dinsdale represents Golden Harvest Seed, Pivot Bio Proven 40, and Precision Planting. To learn more, millendinsdaleseed.com. And from the Student Body Screen Printing and Embroidery, located on 4th Street in Maryville. The Student Body provides Spoof Hound fan wear as well as custom screen printing and embroidery for teams, clubs, and businesses throughout Spoof Hound Nation. Also from U.S. Bank, providing banking services to Northwest students and the community. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Spoof Hound Athletics and Maryville High School. More on their products, services, and locations is at usbank.com. Support for today's game also comes from Twaddle Realty in Maryville. Local Brian Twaddles provided real estate services for residential, farm, and commercial properties to the area for more than 25 years. More information available at 562-7562 or twaddlerealty.com.
You're tuned in to Maryville Spoof Hound pregame on KXCV KRNW. Underwritten by Northwest Cell.
Just about set for football here from Maryville. The Spoof Hounds taking on the St. Pius Warriors. Maryville 2-1 in overall, 1-0 in conference play, and the Warriors 3-0 overall and 1-0 here in the MIAA. And it'll be St. Pius winning the toss. They choose to receive, so they'll take the opening kick. We'll see Noah Bellamy come out to boot this one deep for Maryville. Before that happens, Philip, bring us the weather report, as we've had some clouds, we've had some rain, a little bit of everything so far.
There's a couple things that people look forward to before kickoff every week. One is the weather report. So right now, 66 degrees.
What else?
Listen, I got a good one for you. The last couple of weeks, Maryville's played teams that have 5 state titles apiece. So Sarah and Stanberry's checked in with me and said, hey, you have not given a report. How many state titles does St. Pius have in their trophy case? And the answer is 4. They won in 81, 98, 2000, and 2002. So we've got great weather tonight, minus a little bit of rain showers. I think they're going to kind of come and go. Don't know that we'll see any delays. 70% chance of light rain. You know what that means? 30% chance of no rain.
There you go.
Right? You like the weather. And then you look at St. Pius, like I said, they've got some state titles in their trophy. They're a team that really up until about 2017 or so was a team that Maryville was just kind of trouncing. And then we get to last season, we got our first win in 3 tries over them in that district semifinal, if you will. So Pius has really come along here lately. And again, tonight going to be a heck of a ball game.
Maryville just about set to kick this one away back deep for St. Pius. Charles Ross III and Grant Red. As Bellamy steps up, an onside kick for Maryville to start things off, but Maryville got a little bit of a head start there as Bellamy, a little hesitation before he kind of got into that one, just trying to get it that minimum of 10 yards. And so with the flag down, we'll see Maryville re-tee this one up. Now they're going to wave off and say no penalty. We'll go ahead and kick this one again. Spoof Hounds set to boot this one deep. Red and Ross the third. To retrieve this one for the Warriors as a squib kick instead comes up short to Max Irby. Irby wrapped up, breaks through one tackle at the 35-yard line before he is hit and dropped as the Spoof Hounds jumping in. And the ball coming loose late in that play. Gus McCullough picks it up, saying it should be Spoof Hound football, but the officials say he was down, and it will be St. Pius football as we are set for the Warriors to come out with their starting offense, led by quarterback Hudson Bailey, a young man that's been pretty good so far this season, completing 78% of his passes, going for 577 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
When you look at the stats in the metro area, Hudson Bailey's number 2 with 8 touchdown passes thrown. Number 1 would be Derek Quinlan at 9 touchdown passes thrown.
But the first thing they do, they give it to their all-conference running back Larry Cascone. He's met in the backfield by Lucas Viertaler. That's going to be a loss of 1 on first down. And so we will see St. Pius come back out for a 2nd and long.
And Lucas Viertaler, he has just played some really good football, just solid. Not that he's leading the team in sacks, but he is really where he's supposed to be, so he can make plays that need to be made.
Cascone again up the middle, has a bit of a seam, able to get through that first row of defenders, gets out to the 39-yard line. And so now a 3rd down and 5 on the way for the Warriors.
That time Cole Zarbano coming up from his safety position to provide just a little bit of love for Cascone, make sure he knows he's going to be there all night long.
3rd and 5 for the Warriors from their own 34-yard line. Bailey looks to the sideline. Maryville coming out. Black jerseys, black pants, the green helmets, that gold M on the side. All white tonight for Pius. They fake to give up the middle to Cascone. Rolling to his right is Bailey, looking down the field for Irby. No, instead a receiver getting behind him. That pass hauled in by Luke Tonks. And that'll be a first down, moving the sticks to the Maryville 37-yard line.
And that's where we talked about Maryville's got to keep St. Pius in front of them all night long. They're going to run guys all over that route tree, and they're going to find some openings. Quarterback's got a nice arm, and he can put it in there.
They'll pick up 29 yards, a first down as St. Pius in business. The handoff goes to Cascone, gets hit right at the line of scrimmage, able to bust forward. He'll pick up 3 yards on first down.
And you can see what Pius is going to try to do. They're not trying to run off tackle. They're trying to take it right up there between the guard and tackle, guard center, trying to open up some holes. But that is an area that I think Maryville has some strength, especially when we talk about big Phoenix Phillip, 6'3", 285. He can plug holes.
Cascone, a junior running back for St. Pius. He's got some speed, but he does an awfully good job of running between the tackles so far this season, averaging 7.5 yards a pop. A 2nd down on the way for the Warriors. They fake to give this time to Cascone. They dump it into the flats. It is caught and quickly dropped by Delton Davis. That pass picked up by Maddox Chenoweth.
Quickly caught by Delton Davis. Delton Davis, he's got the wheels to hang with your running back out of the backfield. He can kind of catch up to those receivers on those short routes. And if you bring your tight end and you try to drag him across, Delton Davis is going to be right there all night long. He has just so much speed that he can catch up with anybody trying to sneak out of the backfield.
On this 3rd down and 5, handoff goes to Cascone, breaks off right toward the tackle. He's hit and goes down. Just a 1-yard pickup. It is Davis and Allen getting there for the tackle.
Don Allen with a big play that time last week. He had a number of huge plays. We talked about him in the pregame, offensive side of the ball, but he was also very steady on the defensive side as well.
4th down on the way for St. Pius. A 4th and 5, 9 minutes to play in the first quarter. They'll leave their offense on the field. Bailey setting up in the shotgun. He has Cascone to his left. Maryville, 4 down linemen across that defensive front. Back to pass. It is Bailey looking down the field. Throw this one across the middle. It is caught in traffic and down to the 18-yard line. That one picked up by Max Irby.
Boy, if Sadler View is just about 2 inches taller, let's say he's 6 foot, he would have got a paw on that ball, but the quarterback put it right over the top of Sadler View. Big completion there, keeps the momentum going, and right away you can see this Bailey kid, he can sling the football.
8.5 minutes to play now in the first quarter. First drive of the football game. It's St. Pius marching down the field right now on Maryville. Bailey so far 3 for 3 passing. From the 14-yard line, he'll give this one to Cascone. Lowers his head, able to fight through a couple spoof hounds and gets out to the 10-yard line. He'll pick up 4. 5th carry of this opening drive for Cascone.
Coach Webb said it in pregame. this is the kind of team that likes to set up the pass with the run. So if you're not careful and your eyes are watching the football and you're trying to think that back has it, quarterback pulls it out, they've got a lot of read option plays for him. And he, again, he's a great-looking young quarterback, so you've got to make sure those receivers are in front of you, otherwise they'll pop it for a big one.
Bailey, the sophomore quarterback, slings this one left to Irby. They're trying to set up a screen. He was hit and dropped in the backfield. Gus McCullough comes up to make that stop, a loss of 3, and we'll see a 3rd and 9 on the way for St. Pius.
That's a name we called, it seems like, all week last week. Gus McCullough getting into the action, and there he is again with a huge play. Takes away what would have been a 4th and probably manageable to a 3rd, and I'm going to call that 3rd and long. Now, we've seen them convert. They can convert for sure, but really puts Maryville in the driver's seat when you've got a 3rd and long.
3rd and 9, 7:15 to play in this first quarter. 2 receivers left, 1 split out wide to the right side. They're going to go right as Bailey tosses this one into the end zone. Caught in a touchdown for St. Pius. That pass hauled in by Tommy Hutzler, and it's a 6-0 lead for the Warriors. 7:07 to play in the opening frame.
Tommy Hutzler's got 141 yards on the season, and that time, good route, sure, good throw, sure, but I think the wet turf might have got Don Allen kind of caught up just a little bit. It was a nice battle going on. Don just fell, slipped a little bit, and a pretty easy pitch and catch that time.
So on for this PAT, it is Julian Abella. Snap is good. Hold, the kick on the way. And plenty on that one from Julian Abella. Kick is good. 7-0 St. Pius. First drive of the football game. Maryville now will get their chance. But first, we'll step aside. You're listening to Maryville Spoofhound Football.
This Spoofhound broadcast is underwritten by FCS Financial of Maryville. FCS is a customer-owned ag lender that's served Missouri for over a century with loans for farm equipment, livestock, beginning farmers, hunting land, rural homes, and more. For more information, 660-582-6464 or myfcsfinancial.com.
Support for today's game comes from Laclede Chain Manufacturing, a proud supporter of Maryville High School athletics. Employment opportunities at Laclede are available now. For more information or to view available positions, lacledechain.com.
A touchdown drive for St. Pius to get this game underway. Last year was a 7-point win for St. Pius in the regular season. In the postseason, the district semifinal game here in Maryville, the Spoofhounds able to come away with a 38-21 victory. Alongside Philip Horn, I'm Matt Tritton. Thanks for joining us here for Maryville football on a Friday evening.
And that game down in Kansas City was an exciting one. Came down to the very end there. Derek Quinlan was running for his life, rolling to the right. Had a receiver in the end zone that I'd like to think would have been a completed pass, but got dragged down from behind and ended that game.
Kickoff here from St. Pius. The big boot, but this one is whistle dead. As again, Abella, the senior place kicker, kicking that one deep to Darren Dwight.
You've been to too many games where the first kickoff for either team has ended in a penalty. I guess the first kickoff, Maryville, didn't end in a penalty. They just wanted to see if their flag worked.
Again, right?
Yeah, make sure the flag works.
This will be a penalty on St. Pius. Back him up 5 yards. Abella will boot it now from the 35-yard line. St. Pius 3-0 so far on the season. A 54-6 win over Pembroke Hill, a 59-21 win over St. Michael, and last week, MEC action, they took down Cameron at home 49-8. As this time, Abella, the right-footed kicker, gets this one back deep to Dwight. He'll take it from his own 2-yard line, up the right seam, cuts toward the middle of the field, lowers his shoulder, barrels into a defender, and he'll get out to the 26-yard line before he's brought down.
Nice run that time by Dwight. Picked up probably 3 or 4 additional yards just by lowering his shoulder, driving the defender back. Good return, sets Maryville up for their first offensive possession and decent field position. We already talked about how it's a little bit wet. We'll see what they can do with it here, see if they can return the favor and punch it into the end zone.
It was a touchdown pass to Tommy Hutzler, his 3rd touchdown reception of the season for St. Pius on their opening drive. Now it's Maryville's turn as they'll come out, 2 receivers split out to each side. Pistol formation, Quinlan takes a snap, looks right, quick pass on the slant. It is thrown low, and they're going to say it is incomplete. Looking that time for Boston Hageman.
Yeah, a little slant that time for Boston Hageman. Threw it where Boston could catch it. Well, threw it where we hope a diving catch would have caught it. That would have been a nice catch, but definitely not in harm's way. Unfortunately, incomplete on that first pass.
So again, out of the pistol, a 2nd and 10 on the way for Maryville. Quinlan looking left this time, throws a little out route. It goes to Davis. Davis to the middle of the field to the 30-yard line, cut down at the 31. He'll pick up 5, a 3rd and 5 on the way for the Hounds. Say it was an out. It's a little bit more of a hitch that time from Davis, and he came back to the football, made the catch. And a 3rd down and manageable on the way for the Hounds.
And that's a guy that you want to see. Can he get open tonight? You've got some good guys covering him with St. Pius. If you can get him open, he's going to be your go-to guy.
Quinlan changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Takes a snap on a 3rd and 5. Back to pass again. The rush coming. Lofts this one up deep. Looking for Don Allen. Lays out. Can't make the catch. That one overthrown just a touch. The pressure that time from St. Pius coming in from Randy. Got the 3rd. And a 4th down and 5 on the way for Maryville. We'll see the punting unit come out.
Not how the Hounds wanted to start the game on a 3 and out. But one thing I was keeping track of there, we talked about the freshman out there, Mace McKim. He was certainly holding his own on each of those passing plays where he's just in there to block. Nobody was getting by him on those, and that's a big plus if you're Maryville, because you can imagine what you're coaching freshmen through in a big game such as this one.
6:12 to play in the opening quarter. Don Allen stays on the field. He's a long snapper. Sadler View wanted to punt this one away. Good snap. Sadler. A wobbly spiral, deep punt. It's retrieved around the 32-yard line by St. Pius. Up the left sideline. Angling out of bounds before he's brought out of bounds.
And brought out of bounds by 53, Mace McKim.
Mace McKim tackled.
There's your freshman. He's all over the field.
Takes Grant Red out of bounds, and so we'll see St. Pius come out for their 2nd offensive possession. They march down the field, converted a few 3rd downs. They find themselves up 7-0. But before we do that, we've got an official's timeout on the field. We'll step aside. 6:01 to play in the opening quarter. This is Maryville Spoofhound football.
Support for the Spoofhounds on radio comes from Mosaic Medical Center, Maryville, providing comprehensive care close to home. For more information or to schedule an appointment, 660-562-2525 or mymlc.com/Maryville.
Support for today's broadcast comes from Maryville Shelter Insurance Agent Brad Ford, a proud supporter of the Spoofhounds. Brad provides coverage for auto, home, life, and business, 24-hour claims assistance, and insurance reviews. More at 562-2911 or in office at 102 North Buchanan.
Here in the first quarter from the Hound Pound, Maryville taking on St. Pius. Spoofhounds trailing 7-0 alongside Philip Horn. I'm Matt Tritton. Adam Thiel, our spotter for the evening. Philip, the home opener. It took till week 4 until we got to see the Spoofhounds play on their home field, but boy, this crowd, they were ready and waiting for this game.
Yeah, big crowd out here tonight, despite the elements early on. A little bit of rain coming our way, but again, huge crowd. Student section's fired up. Tonight's theme is tie-dye theme, so I think they're waiting for a big touchdown. They're going to release all sorts of colors into the air, so if you're not a fan of tie-dye, you're going to hope that the wind's not blowing the wrong direction, because if it is, it's coming right to you.
I just hope you don't have a handful of that tie-dye pattern. Throw it here in the booth.
Secrets.
Adam would not appreciate it. 1st and 10 here for St. Pius. They'll give the Cascone up the middle. He fights for it. He'll pick up 3.
Cascone's a tough runner. He's really built from the waist down. He can get after you. So those guys, I'm telling you, I think these St. Pius guys hit the weight room just like Maryville did over the summer.
2nd down and 7 on the way. 5.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Bailey gets set for the play, then takes a look over at the sideline. They'll shift things around. Cascone to the left of the quarterback now. Takes the snap. The give goes to Cascone off left tackle. He's got a big hole. Breaks through 1 tackle up the left sideline. 1 man to beat. Boston Hageman able to bring him down on the sideline. Good pursuit by Hageman, but not until a big gain that time for St. Pius.
Good pursuit by Boston Hageman. Really went after the football too. Forced it out, but rolls out of bounds. Keeps possession with St. Pius. That was a big run by the Warriors.
33-yard gain. Biggest play of the night for either offense. We're still in the first quarter. It's still early, but a big gainer that time for Cascone. This time Bailey quickly firing it right, looking for Irvy, I think, kind of between Irby, as well as Tommy Hutzler, who got that first touchdown pass. That one falls incomplete, so a 2nd and 10 now on the way for Pius.
Yeah, I'd say somebody just ran the wrong route that time, and quarterback put it probably in a pretty good spot had they run the right route, but lucky for Maryville, falls incomplete.
A 2nd down and 10 on the way. It's been a very balanced attack for St. Pius throughout this season, but also in this football game. A good dose of Larry Cascone. We'll see him again here, right up the gut. He gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up one. A 3rd down and 9 on the way. And a big chance here for the Maryville defense. You'd love to find a way, get a tackle for loss, find a way to push them back and make this kind of a difficult spot for Coach Anthony Simone. Do you try to kick it? Do you try to throw one deep into the end zone, facing a 4th and long as they have the ball right now on the 19-yard line?
And they're going to put Hutzler back out wide to the right of the field. That's how they scored on their first possession, just kind of tossing up to the big wide receiver. Don Allen's got him this time, motioning him over, but they've been pretty successful on 3rd down thus far.
In motion, right to left is Irby, goes back to the right now, back to pass, free rusher. It's McCullough. McCullough wraps up Bailey, throws this one into the ground. And a flag comes down. That's going to be an intentional grounding. Not only the penalty yards, but also the loss of down. Big time play by McCullough.
McCullough, again, just getting after the quarterback that time. He's heat-seeking missile, gets his eyes on that quarterback, and he is not going to let him go. And young fella brought him down. Quarterback tried to think he could make a little something out of nothing. He's a Kansas City kid, might have a little Patrick Mahomes in the back of his mind. I know you're not a fan. You're a big Raiders guy. But he was down. That's a good penalty. Coaches might argue it, but certainly that was intentional grounding.
And we're going to back him up now. Mahomes, of course, the Chiefs losing week 1 to the Detroit Lions on a Thursday opening night. AFC West currently being led by the Las Vegas Raiders. But you look at McCullough, just that free rush off the right side, able to get in the backfield, a big-time sack by the young man. And now a 4th and very long after this penalty. And now in a situation, again, you're thinking, hey, get a sack, get a tackle for loss, put St. Pius in a difficult spot with the penalty. That is going to back them up to the Maryville, 38-yard line.
4th and 28. You don't have a lot of plays calling for 4th and 28, unless, of course, you do have a guy like Patrick Mahomes. But you called it. Maryville needed to get off the field. This is their opportunity right here. So still got to play some smart football.
Set to punt this one away is Pius as Wyatt Garner back deep. Low snap, scooped up from the 50-yard line. The punt is away. It's a wobbly one picked up by Garner, but it looks like the punter kneels down to get that one. It's Hudson Bailey, the quarterback. The snap was low. His knee touched the ground where he picked it up. And that is a huge loss and a momentum shifter once again for Maryville.
Only in the ranks of professional football can your knee touch the ground, get back up, and still have a live play without being touched. But in high school, college, it doesn't work that way. You are correct. Low snap caused the punter to have to go down knee touches. So 2 huge back-to-back plays that put Maryville in some fantastic field position here tonight.
And a good catch on that, too, is my mind thinking, all right, where's the football going? White Garner back deep, but the knee does scrape the ground, and so Maryville takes over on the St. Pius 46. A back to pass. It is Quinlan. Fires this one across the middle. He has Davis makes the catch, falls forward. He'll pick up 13 yards on 1st down.
Just enough time to get that ball back and rip it down the field. Jackson Rodderman, he's one of St. Pius's great defensive end linebackers, and he was coming down hard there on Derek Quinlan, but Derek Quinlan was able to step into that throw, whip it down the field. Nice pitch and catch there to Delton Davis.
7-0 Pius lead, 4:02 to play in this first quarter. Maryville trying to drive, though, deep down that left sideline, looking for Garner. Lays out, couldn't quite make the catch. Coverage that time for St. Pius. Running stride for stride, that was Turner White. Good coverage down the field. This will bring up a 2nd down and 10. So far on the evening, Derek Quinlan, 2 for 4 passing for 29 yards. As Maryville with the ball on the Pius 33. It is Turner lined up behind Quinlan. Back to pass once again is Derek. He steps up. He's got a huge lane. Cut to the left, angling toward the hash marks, and he gets wrapped up and brought down at the 35-yard line. Tackle made by Grant Redd.
Matt, I think that's the difference in tonight's ball game is Derek Quinlan's legs this game. Last week it was just bombs away, pedal to the metal. But I think one of the things that's going to help Maryville a lot is if opportunity exists and Derek Quinlan takes off. We didn't see it versus Blair Oaks. We need to see it here tonight.
Quinlan to the 25, the 8-yard gain. Back to pass. Again, fires this one. It is caught. Pulls Arbano. That is Clinton to move the sticks. Down to the 16-yard line.
I'll tell you, Cole Zarbano, that was a great pitch and catch. But what's really fun to watch right now is Phoenix Phillips. That young man is developing into somebody that's got some good confidence, and he's just laying the lumber to some folks out there tonight.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line inside the red zone for the first time this evening. The handoff goes to Turner. Turner cuts it up the middle. He gets wrapped up by Red, still fighting forward, and he'll get out near the 10, maybe the 9-yard line before he's drugged down. I'm going to say the 10-yard line, so a 6-yard gain for Turner. Just the second rush of the night for Maryville. 2nd down and 4 from the Pius 10-yard line. Pistol formation once again. Quinlan passing this time, looking right, firing, goes to the end zone. Hageman comes down with it on the slant. Touchdown, 2 pounds.
Boston Hageman, nice slant, nice throw, nice catch. Get this crowd hyped up a little bit. And there we go, Spoof Hounds right back on the board.
Boston Hageman brings that one in, his 2nd touchdown of the season, and a chance to tie this one up with the PAT on the way. 2:40 to play in this opening quarter. As Bellamy comes onto the field to kick this PAT. Now Maryville quickly shifting out of their typical field goal formation. A flag comes down. They're going to offside. So Maryville will scoot forward just a touch more.
If Maryville backs out of this and decides to go for 2, this is an area that we've seen a lot of Cooper Gassler, the senior tight end. He's been involved on some successful 2-point conversions coming in as a wide receiver, and here we go.
They set up for the field goal. Now they shift out of it. All their linemen lined up to the left, all by himself in the backfield. It is Matthew Walter in the motion, right to left. Dalton Davis now rolling to right. It is Walter. Walter fighting for the end zone. Gets near the goal line. He is gone just short. Maryville getting a little bit tricky that time. It doesn't work out. 2:40 to play here in the first quarter. Spoonhounds, though, get on the board. 7-6 is the score in favor of St. Pius. We'll step aside and be back in 30 seconds.
Support for Spoonhound football comes from Millen Dinsdale Seed, serving farmers across the region for over a decade. Millen Dinsdale represents Golden Harvest Seed, Pivot Bio Proven 40, and Precision Planting. To learn more, MillenDinsdaleSeed.com.
Today's game is brought to you by local internet provider United Fiber, providing a variety of fiber-fast internet plans for residents and businesses with speeds up to 1 gig. More information is available online at unitedfiber.com.
Well, Maryville on the board for the first time. It starts with a big play defensively to move St. Pius out of their own red zone, then tack on a bit of a special team snafu for the Warriors, and Maryville makes it hurt, trailing just 7-6.
And one of the things I've been focused on is that right side of the offensive line. You've got a freshman and a sophomore. You've got Mace McKim, Phoenix Phillips, right tackle, right guard, and they're holding their own against some big dudes from St. Pius right now. One of those plays, Phoenix Phillips took number 99. He took him to the turf, and he really introduced himself in a very not nice way.
Short kickoff from Bellamy, returned by one of the upmen for St. Pius, out across the 40, down to about the 43-yard lines. Will they'll start their next drive. 2:34 to play in the first quarter. A good one here from Maryville, 7-6. Spoonhounds down just 1. Today's game is being brought to you by Laclede Chain Manufacturing on East 1st Street in Maryville. Laclede's a family-owned company producing various chains for hardware, industrial, snow chains, and more. Additional information is available at lacledechain.com. Hudson Bailey back out for another series for St. Pius. Little pitch goes to Larry Casconi trying to get to the edge. He gets hit and wrapped up. Don Allen from his cornerback spot right there, as well as Boston Hageman coming downhill from his safety position.
That play played really well by Don Allen. Kept everybody in front of him and fought off the block, forcing Casconi to turn it up. If Casconi breaks that corner, gets onto the outside, there's nobody there, even though you've got some good pursuit coming from Hageman. He's got a lot of green grass in front of him.
Still a gain of 5 for the Warriors running back. Now they're running that same play to the left. They pitch it out to him. He has to cut back toward the middle of the field. He gets wrapped up just as he crosses midfield down to the Maryville 49.
Major Scarborough wrapping him up. Major Scarborough's got that frame 6'4", 190. He's got that big, wide wingspan. Kind of like probably you, I assume. Yep, just like yours. That's what made you such a devastating basketball player.
Not that either.
That giant wingspan, little Karl Malone action there.
If anything, maybe premier pickleball player.
We got to get to pickleball tonight.
3rd and 2 on the way for St. Pius from the Maryville 49. They take a glance over at the sideline. Bailey mentions something to his offensive line, backs up just a bit, takes a clap. Now takes the waist-high snap, pitches out to Casconi, cuts upfield. He has to bounce this one out to the sideline. He's able to get the first down yardage and then some. And again, how many times was he bottled up that play but just kept on moving and found an opening?
Yep, looked like we were going to have him drop for a loss, but he bounces to the outside, picks up the necessary yards on that run, and that's where you've got a guy like Casconi. He's kind of your thunder, and then you can throw in. You pick. You want to pick in Grant Red. We haven't seen much out of him offensively. He's dangerous at the kick return. You throw him in, he's a jitterbug, so you got to watch out for him. Then you got that big tight end outside, Hutzler, who scored that first touchdown. So they've got dynamic playmakers all over that field.
Bailey wants to throw it, looking downfield. The pass rush gets back there, but running wide open down the middle of the field. It is Hutzler and makes the catch down inside the 15-yard line. A diving grab for St. Pius.
On cue, Hutzler with a big pitch and catch that time. Coaches on this side of the ballgame for the Spoof Hounds, they sure would like the refs to think that might have hit the turf, and not so sure that turf didn't help with that reception there. So regardless, going to be a first down here for St. Pius.
2 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown here in this first quarter for Tommy Hutzler. Not a bad start for that young man. As the officials briefly stopping play here to discuss something with the St. Pius sideline. Looks like they're having an issue with the chain on that far side. 1:05 left to play in this opening quarter alongside Philip Porn. I'm Matt Tritton. Adam Thiel, our spotter for the evening. Great crowd on hand for the Maryville home opener, taking on St. Pius, the second conference game for both of these two teams. Spoof Hounds last week, a 50-0 victory over Chillicothe. A little more resistance here this evening, though.
That Chillicothe game is usually just, it's such a big rivalry we talked about. It's been going on since 1917, somewhere in there, and Maryville's just owned that rivalry for so many years, dating back to 2017. But tonight, this is the one that's a up-and-coming rivalry, and it's proving to be that way so far here tonight.
I say more resistance tonight. Maryville's only up 6-0 for the first quarter and a half before they really exploded last week. Right now, though, 1st and 10 for St. Pius. Snap comes back to Bailey. He'll hand this one off up the middle. Casconi running through some guys, able to pick up about 5 before he is finally shut down.
Casconi, he's just a bruiser, and why not give him the ball? He's got 33 carries on the season, 244 yards. He's averaging 7.39 a carry, so you want to keep him south of that number for sure, but taking a lot of guys to bring him down.
Back to pass this time is Bailey. Quick slant into the end zone. Caught, touchdown, St. Pius. Going down low to bring that one in. It is Tommy Hutzler once again. 3rd catch of the night, 2nd touchdown.
Tommy Hutzler, that's his 4th touchdown on the young season, and he's a pretty good matchup. Obviously, that first touchdown that he had in the ball game, we think maybe the turf monster got Don Allen. That time, great pitch and catch. Hutzler for his 4th touchdown reception on the season.
It is Julian Abella on for the PAT, 13-6 with that extra point pending. 19 seconds left in this first quarter. Snap back, kick on the way from Abella. He's got a big leg. He boots that one through. 14-6 is the lead right now for St. Pius. The first quarter nearing its end. We'll step aside and be back with more Maryville Spoof Hound football.
Support for Spoofhound football comes from Midwest Data Center, specializing in IT and cybersecurity services, including advanced threat monitoring, intrusion prevention, and zero trust solutions. Midwest Data Center, located just off the square in Maryville, and online at mwdata.net. Support for today's game comes from Compass Dental Group, providing full dentistry from braces and implants to same-day crowns and more from Drs. Bruce Twaddle, Brian Viertaler, and Spencer Twaddle. Compass Dental Group proudly supports Spoofhound Athletics. For more information, compassdentalgroup.com.
19 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. And St. Pius with a 14-6 lead, a 17-yard touchdown pass from Bailey to Hutzler, and then a 7-yard touchdown pass. That same duo connecting to open up an 8-point lead.
This is one of the bigger games, not just in the area, but in the entire state here tonight. So you've got lots of folks here to watch what they hope is a good football game, shaping up to be that way right now. Maryville down 14-6, but we didn't promise this to be a scoring. We didn't promise that this would be a low-scoring game, Matt, and it's probably going to get us up into the 35-30 range, I'd hope, unless these defenses start to clamp down and take over. But so far, two really good offenses having good nights.
Abella, the kickoff. This one will be taken by Don Allen on the left hash, right around the 7-yard line. Angles to the sideline, gets a block, lost his feet right near the 30-yard line. He had a lot more green in front of him, disappointed himself, but still a nice return as Maryville's going to start this next drive at the 31. 15 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. The last possession for Maryville only had to go about 47 yards. It ended in a 10-yard touchdown pass from Derek Quinlan to Boston Hageman. Pistol formation on the way here for Maryville. Two receivers right, two to the left side. Three down linemen here for St. Pius as Maryville starting this drive. Back to pass Quinlan, some pressure coming. Gets this one away, right side, he has a wide open. Boston Hageman brings it in at the 45-yard line. A foot race back down inside the 30. Just couldn't quite pull away, but a big time pitch and catch that time by Maryville before Hageman brought down by Jesse Lee.
And that time it looked like Quinlan just flicked the wrist right downfield. Boston Hageman, he's getting behind defenders tonight. That was a huge play, exactly what Maryville needed to get this drive going after the touchdown by St. Pius.
42-yard completion to Boston Hageman. Clock runs out in the first quarter, but Maryville trying to put up some more points. 14-6, St. Pius in front. We'll step aside and be back with more Maryville Spoofhound football.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from local Edward Jones Financial Advisors, offering retirement and investment advice to help customers reach financial goals. Jeanette Patchett, J.R. Kurz, Jeff Von Barron, Chad Hannigan, and Scott Nielsen of Edward Jones Maryville are proud supporters of the Spoofhounds.
Support for today's game comes from Heinlein Home Furnishings on South Main in Maryville. Locally owned and operated, Heinlein has been in business for more than 60 years, offering mattresses and furniture from Ashley, Lazy Boy, England, Serta, and more. More information at HeinleinHomeFurnishings.com.
Today's game's underwritten by the Northwest Missouri Regional Council of Governments, coordinating the Affordable Connectivity Program to help those struggling to afford internet service at home. Joy can help at 660-582-5121, extension 1. Marketing assistance from the FCC.
Support for the Spoofhounds on radio comes from Nottoway Valley Bank. NVB has been serving generations of Northwest Missouri families for more than 150 years. More information is on location or at nvb.com. Member FDIC.
First quarter comes to a close on a 42-yard pass play. Derek Quinlan to Boston Hageman. Maryville now with the ball on the St. Pius 27-yard line. Hounds trailing 14-6. As the handoff goes up the middle this time, it is Tucker Turner. He is hit right at the line of scrimmage, trying to fight forward. He's going to pick up a few. We'll give him 3 on first down. Just underway in this second quarter. Some rain pregame. Had some folks a little nervous, but so far has held off a cool evening and a nice evening for some high school football here in Maryville. Pistol formation. Quinlan back to pass. Looking to his left. Firing this one. The corner out looking for Davis. Goes up high. Delton able to bring it down inside the 5-yard line.
That's athlete on athlete, and that's Delton Davis just wanting it more. He gets up in the air and snags that ball right from the defender. Huge play yet again. This is Maryville football. Just air that ball out. You've got the receivers that can go make those catches, so just throw it up to them and see what happens. And that time, Delton Davis on a huge reception.
21-yard pass play. Maryville inside the 5. Handoff goes to Turner, trying to turn this one up the middle. He's going to get down to the 1-yard line. A 3-yard pickup on 1st and goal.
Turner's quickly turning into a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of guy. Tough runner, senior. He understands his role, and when he gets the football, he's going to make the most of it.
10:51 to play here in this second quarter. A 2nd and goal from the maybe 1.5-yard line on the way. And we have officials timeout on the field. We'll step aside and be back with more Maryville High School football here on KXCV KRNW.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Hy-Vee, a proud supporter of the Maryville R2 School District. Hy-Vee offers catering for game day or any special occasion, grocery delivery service, pharmacy with drive-thru, a full-service floral shop, and more. For more information, Hy-Vee.com or 1217 South Main in Maryville.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from the Northwest Technical School, offering a variety of adult education courses this fall, ranging from dance like salsa and the Western Two-Step to arts and crafts such as rug braiding, painting, and t-shirt quilting. The full fall catalog of courses can be found online at kxcv.org or nts.maryville.k12.mo.us.
A 2nd and goal from the 1.5-yard line on the way. Maryville trying to punch it in and potentially get a chance to tie this game up, down 14-6.
And Matt, you mentioned it just a little bit earlier. Beautiful night for football, but we got a lot of folks that aren't at the Hound Pound. They're listening crystal clear on 90.5. Kevin up in Messina, Iowa, he's getting it loud and clear.
Handoff goes to Turner, trying to fight his way up the middle, hit by a whole host of defenders right around the 1-yard line. They're going to spot him short. So a 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line on the way for Maryville. 10.5 minutes to play in the half. Third and goal coming up. Davis and Turner, both in the backfield, flanking Quinlan. They'll give to Davis, trying to bounce around the left side into the end zone. Untouched. Delton Davis, a 1-yard scoring run in Maryville. Back down by 2.
Delton Davis, a scoring machine, and he's the guy. Just get the ball in his hands. Why not? Give it to him on a 40-yard pass play. Give it to him out of the backfield. Very versatile, very athletic, hard to bring down, and some say he's as quick as a hiccup.
Hugh would say quick as a hiccup, specifically. 14-12 after the score. Maryville not going to come out and shift out of that typical field goal formation. They're just going to come out. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Pistol formation, back to pass Quinlan. Quick strike going, looking for Davis. That one low. He scraped that one up off the top of the turf. They're going to wave this one off, incomplete. So Maryville unsuccessful on a pair of 2-point conversions, but they're back within 2 points. 14-12, 10-19 to play in the first half. We'll step aside and be back with more on KXCV KRNW.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from the Maryville Forum, serving the region for more than 150 years. The Forum provides local news, sports, and information online daily at MaryvilleForum.com. More at 660-562-2424.
Support for today's game comes from Northwest Missouri Regional Credit Union, serving the area since 1933, offering loans, savings, and checking accounts, credit cards, share certificates, and online banking. They're located at the intersection of Highway 71 and East South Avenue. Today, tomorrow, together.
Alongside Philip Horn, I'm Matt Dritton. Thanks for joining us for some high school football here on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe. The Hounds trailing 14-12 as we are in the second quarter of this one. Not only are we thinking Midland Empire Conference implications with these two conference schools, but also in the same district, Class 3 District 8. So this one goes pretty deep into the postseason, not only right now.
And it's a young season, early in the season, but you can go on the initial website and see you get points for every team you play. You get points for every win. You get points for playing teams up. We got some extra points for playing Harrisonville. But everything matters if you want to be a district site host. If you want to host your playoff games through districts, these are the kind of wins that you need.
Bellamy, the squib kick goes to the right side. It is dove on right there by a St. Pius player.
I think Max Irby dove on that football after it bounced off his knee. Maybe not Max Irby. I thought it was. But he got some good hands on that. And then there's a little cheering and chomping afterward. There's some yellow on the turf, and I'm not so sure this might back St. Pius up a little bit more.
There was some jawing there between both teams as Pius going back to their sideline and Maryville coming onto the field for defense. And they're going to whistle this one on Maryville.
Coach will get in somebody's ear about that, that's for sure. I don't know who the victim of that was, but not the kind of penalty you don't want to give St. Pius free yards.
We saw St. Pius at the end of one drive. Just some miscues and intentional grounding. They gave Maryville some free yards. That resulted in points one way. And now here we'll see 15 free yards going for St. Pius.
Matt, getting some good feedback from the folks that are watching the game tonight on YouTube. And our broadcast is coming in through the YouTube Spoofhound Athletics channel. So that's great to have one more avenue to get the Spoofhounds out there. Again, the FM station working great, and I know a lot of people have the app downloaded and listen far and near, I guess. Maybe some folks in the stadium. I know there's a couple. I think McCullough's dad's got his earbuds in.
Always appreciate that listenership throughout as Bailey back to pass on 1st and 10. Rolling to his right, trying to escape some pressure. Finally gets rid of this one. Dumps it short. A big tackle on the sideline. As View getting in on that one. I think they got that one out to Max Irby. That'll be a gain of 4 on 1st and 10.
They've been pretty successful on first down, whether it's running that ball, pounding it with Larry Cascone or Manis. But that time, quarterback kind of breaking tendency a little bit, getting outside the pocket. Looks like he's going to be okay to move and throw that football downfield, find his receiver. So this guy, he's a really, really sharp-looking young quarterback.
2nd and 6. The snap throw goes off Bailey's chin. The ball loose under the pile. And Maryville comes up with the recovery. A big-time error by St. Pius. Major Scarborough comes up from the bottom of the pile. The defensive end gets on the ground, picks it up, and Maryville comes away with the fumble recovery.
Footballs are not round. They're going to bounce in some odd directions, and that time it went off the shins and the ankles of a couple St. Pius guys. And luckily, the good guys, the Hounds, get that turnover right there. Could be a big difference in this ball game. And now you get that offense back on the field, and boy, they were on fire that last drive. They're just getting the ball down the field left and right. So Maryville in control, hopefully, in this drive. See if they can't put some points on the board and get control of this ball game.
5 wide receiver set for Maryville. Quinlan all by himself in the backfield. Back to pass. 3-man rush for St. Pius. He's going to take off to his left, looking downfield. Angles to the middle of the field. A wide lane here for Quinlan across the 30-yard line. Tripped up, comes down at the 25. A gain of 28 yards on first down for Maryville.
And that is, like I said, that could be the difference right there. You've got Quinlan, who he can see the lane. He's got to just get out there and turn on the afterburners. That time brought down by the ankles. What a great run, picking up that first down. And that momentum, you just kind of feel it building toward the way of the Hounds.
He'll get spotted at the 26, so we'll say a 27-yard run that time for Quinlan. 5 receivers set once again. Designed quarterback run. Takes this one between the tackles, and he's going to get out across the 25-yard line down to the 24, of gain of 2. And we see the maturation process for Derek Quinlan, too, where times maybe last year stays back, tries to force a pass, kind of unsure of when he should take off, but no doubt that time he took the linebacker one-on-one, cut to the middle of the field, and turned on the jets.
Yeah, that looked like Derek Quinlan on a fast break in basketball, just coming down the floor, point guarding it, and he just completely faked that linebacker out. Picked up some big yardage.
2nd down and 8. Quinlan rolling to his right, looking downfield, fires this one on the sideline, leaning, trying to pull that one in. Delton, no, check that White. Garner, that one a little wide, incomplete pass, a 3rd and 8 on the way. .8:43 to play in the first half. St. Pius holding on to a 14-12 lead. Maryville with it, 3rd and 8 from the St. Pius 24-yard line. They love to pick up 8 here, but it is 4-down territory for the Spoofhounds. As Derek Quinlan hollering at his offensive line, gives a glance over to the sideline, backs up just a bit. Tucker Turner in the pistol formation, back to pass Quinlan, looking to the left, fires this one, looking for Boston Hageman. Goes high, incomplete, but a flag comes down. That'll be PI coming up on Jesse Lee.
Wow, pass interference on that play. That ball was just a little bit high. I'm not so sure if I'm on the other side of the field that I might argue that just a little bit, but you know what? We're all in on the Hounds, so chips in. We'll take that penalty. We'll take that ball. We'll move it on down and see what happens from here. So big conversion that time. Got a little bit lucky perhaps on that PI, but as a Hounds fan, we'll take it.
You're right. Take what you can get. The pass interference on Lee. He clearly didn't agree with that call, but also Derek Quinlan thinking, I'm going to throw this one up to my 6'2 receiver. Might have thrown that one a couple feet too high, but Maryville still beneficiary of the PI. 1st and 10 on the way for Maryville. The ball moved up to the 11-yard line.
Keep the offense on the field, and they are playing at a high level right now.
8:39 to play in the half from the 11-yard line. Quinlan looking to his left, firing end zone, looking for number 11. Delton Davis in and out of his hands. Looking for that 11-yard completion to number 11. Couldn't pull that one in. 2nd and 10 on the way for the Hounds.
Great play call by offensive coordinator Matt Houchin, and he had what he wanted. He had Delton Davis on an out. Threw that ball in a great spot. I think Delton might have just turned his head just a little bit too soon, thinking, I'll go for my next touchdown. Let's get 2 for the night.
He was thinking what I was thinking. Put 6 on the board. Not to be on that play. 2nd and 10 on the way. 8.5 minutes to play in this opening half. 4 receivers on the field. Don Allen going in motion right to left. Little jet sweep. Takes the pitch. Cuts up field. Gets inside the 10 down to the 5-yard line. He'll pick up 6, and we'll see a 3rd and 4 on the way.
Manageable. 3rd and 4 is manageable for this offense. That little pop pass, we kind of saw that breakout last week against Chillicothe. And you saw Don Allen take a couple of those. You saw Delton Davis take a couple of those. They're very comfortable with that, stealing it from their big brothers down the road, the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats.
Northwest actually used to run that with Adam Teal. That was back in the 90s.
Picked up a couple of yards, I'm going to have to guess. Adam was one of those guys that liked to run right behind the center. Just, you know what, take on everybody.
5 receivers on the field from the 6-yard line. Allen motions into the backfield behind Quinlan. Back to pass, looking to his left. He's going to roll to his left, has some pressure, throws this one, end zone, all by himself. Touchdown, Wyatt Garner. Felix Phillips in the background of that play, blocking Randy Gott the third. Gott lost his helmet. He's going to head to the sideline. There is a couple flags in the end zone, though. 6-yard touchdown pass that time, Quinlan to Garner as it stands. We'll wait to see what the officials call here. As Boston Hageman indicating it will be on St. Pius, but again, the referee sorting this one out.
That play stands. I've got Derek Quinlan at 8 of 14 on the evening, up to 113 yards passing.
Well, now Maryville's backing up just a bit. Got a hold coming up on St. Pius. And a personal foul on St. Pius as well. So we'll go ahead and count that 6-yard touchdown pass. Quinlan to Garner.
Good to see Garner getting the action there a little bit. 6-yard touchdown pass. That's his first catch of the night. He'll get targeted throughout the course of the evening. He's just a fast, durable, kind of a wide receiver. So you'll see Quinlan target him more this evening. And when you start thinking about how we saw Don Allen in the backfield, got Tucker Turner running the ball pretty well tonight. Just so many weapons for this Spoofhound football team.
Quinlan kept that one alive. His receiver did a lot of work for him to get open. That back left corner of the end zone all by himself, going for the 2-point conversion, rolling right. Quinlan looking, trying to force that one into a tight window, tipped away. Intended receiver is Delton Davis. So Maryville now 0 for 3 on the 2-point conversion, but they're in front for the first time tonight. 18-14 our score, 7:39 to play in the first half. We'll step aside and be back with more Maryville Spoofhound football.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Pitsenberger Auto Body in Maryville, providing auto collision repair and taking the dents out of accidents. Pittsburghers also installs ultimate truck bed liners. More at 660-582-4599 or facebook.com/pittsbodyshop.
Support for today's game comes from Nucor L&P on East 1st in Maryville, specializing in cold finish steel products while emphasizing safety for its employees. Nucor is a proud supporter of Spoofhound Athletics. For more information, 660-582-3127.
7:39 to play in the first half. Boy, we've had a good one so far, Philip Horn.
How about a great ball game? 18-14, offenses galore. Right now, Maryville, they've got the last laugh. We'll see if the defense can continue to step up. You know that they're going to be pretty fired up after that offense came down there and did what they just did to put some points on the board. 3 extra point attempts, went for 2 on all 3 of those. That's 6 points that are off the board for Maryville, otherwise be a bigger lead. But this is your opportunity for that defense to really step it up. And you don't need anybody to be a gambler. So, again, keep preaching it. You got to keep everybody in front of you and take away that big play by these St. Pius Warriors.
So after that personal foul that we saw on the final play of that drive, that was the Garner touchdown catch on the pass from Derek Quinlan. That 15-yard penalty will have Noah Bellamy setting up to kick this one away from the St. Pius 45-yard line.
Noah Bellamy with a number switch here tonight. Started the season as number 2. Looks like he's number 66 tonight. Might have made the switch as the new Pooch kicker offer. I think that's official words.
I'm pretty sure that is correct. Yeah, he'll kick this one deep into the end zone. Of course, we know Grant Red's back to return kicks. We also know that Charles Ross III's back. And as you mentioned a few times, some very dangerous return men for St. Pius, and Maryville wanting to keep it away from them. But we do have some dirty laundry on the field.
It's been a long time since I've seen a game with so many flags on kickoffs.
I just appreciate the fact that our place kickers are getting the respect they deserve and multiple opportunities to kick.
Absolutely, and in that time, got to really show off the leg because he booted that way beyond the end zone. All last week, starting this week, it's been just kind of that squibber kick, and I can see why, because you don't want Grant Red to get his hands on that football. We saw last year that I can't remember if it was Grant Red or was it Irvy, had a big kickoff return for a touchdown that really broke the momentum that Maryville had down in Kansas City. So I can understand why you might not want to kick it to them, make it a little hard to handle, make them think about it just a little bit. Nothing free here tonight.
So an offsides penalty on Maryville, so that'll back Bellamy up 5 yards. He'll now kick off from the 50-yard line. Expecting him to get a big boot into this one, as he did on that previous kick that was called back. Bellamy with the approach, the right-footed kicker. This one a line drive, bounces inside. That's it. It goes He goes into the end zone and picks it up, and that'll be a touchback. Just as effective, Philip Horton.
Just as effective. Where that ball travels in the air or just kind of skids its way to the goal line,
it's
going to be a touchback.
On this very broadcast, you know, footballs aren't round.
They are not round. They take some pretty funky bounces a little bit, so got to keep your eye on that. Can work to your advantage.
We are not quite 5 minutes into the second quarter, but it feels like it's been a long second quarter already. Maryville's in front 18-14. They scored a pair of touchdowns already in this frame. 7:39 to play before half. As now some discussions between the officials, one of the St. Pius captains, Max Irvy, as well as one of the Maryville captains, Delton Davis. So things are chippy. Both of these teams know each other very well. They know what's at stake, not only in the conference, but in districts. And so looks like Delton kind of talking to his guys and saying, maybe not jaw quite as much.
A rivalry in the making. This is the early budding of a great rivalry.
Handoff goes to Cascone. He gets hit in those thigh pads, able to fight forward. He'll pick up 3 on first down. 13th carry of this first half for Larry Cascone.
Cascone, he's having a big ball game. So far, they've been able to limit him to the big play. He's been able to pick up 3 or 4 yards, though, on a lot of carries, and that puts them in a good spot if he can continue to do that.
Cascone again wrapped up around the waist in the backfield. Gus McCullough right there. Back him up for another tackle for loss.
How many times are we going to say Gus McCullough's name tonight?
Gus McCullough is playing like his hair's on fire.
He is. He's on that field to play. He came to play. Came last week to play against Chillicothe, and he's just carrying that over right here. Plays like his hair's on fire, and he locks into a target, and he doesn't let go.
A 3rd down and 5 on the way right now for St. Pius. As McCullough showing some pressure, he's going to blitz. Maryville bringing the pressure, one-on-one coverage down that left sideline, going up to the catch. It is, they're going to say a catch down to the 45-yard line. Tommy Hutzler brings that one in. That's going to be a 30-yard pass from Bailey to Hutzler, but also a flag down that looks like PI on Maryville.
Maryville brought the blitz that time. They couldn't quite get home. Hutzler with a great catch that time, and if he didn't come with the catch, it looked like the refs were going to go ahead and call that PI. Coaches were over there pleading that possibly he was out of bounds. Hard to say from our vantage point. We'd like to assume he's out of bounds, but regardless, that would have been pass interference had he not come up with that catch. But that's just another example of this offense being pretty darn good. Hunter Bailey, he's got a big arm. He's a big kid. He can get that ball up there. If you get it up there with time to Hutzler, probably going to be a completion.
This time we'll hand off to Cascone. A couple juke moves as he gets to the hole, fights forward. He'll pick up 3 on 1st down.
Cascone that time just could not quite find daylight. Maryville's doing a good job on the defensive line of just plugging in those holes and making sure nothing gets too far to the outside. So that tells me your cornerbacks, your corners are playing pretty well on the outside.
They fake the handoff to Cascone, rolling to his right. Bailey firing this one deep down the field, has a receiver. It is caught down near the goal line and down to the 1-yard line. That pass hauled in by Luke Tomps, but a flag down near the line of scrimmage.
That's going to be a holding call against St. Pius.
As it stands, a 41-yard pass from Bailey to Tomps, but again, like Philip said, we're going to wait, and Pius is moving back toward that line of scrimmage like this one might be on them.
Yeah, Maryville's defensive line was coming pretty hard that time. Oh, they're going to call that
illegal
handoff here. All right, I'll take that too.
We'll back them up 5. But again, we're seeing Hudson Bailey. He's a sophomore, and he is putting passes on the money.
You kind of wondered how he would respond being down. He hasn't had to go into that mode yet this season. Their wins 54-6, 59-21, 49-8. He hasn't faced adversity yet, so you wonder how is this young fella going to play. I'd say he's responding pretty well.
So that will back up into a 2nd down and 12 for St. Pius. But we got officials timeout on the field. 5:58 to play here in the first half. An 18-14 Maryville lead. We'll step aside and be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Spoonfound Football.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from local Edward Jones Financial Advisors, offering retirement and investment advice to help customers reach financial goals. Jeanette Patchett, J.R. Kurz, Jeff Von Barron, Chad Hannigan, and Scott Nielsen of Edward Jones Maryville are proud supporters of the Spoonfounds.
Today's game is brought to you by local internet provider United Fiber, providing a variety of fiber-fast internet plans for residents and businesses with speeds up to 1 gig. More information is available online at unitedfiber.com.
We're back out at the Hound Pound. Maryville leading St. Pius 18-14. It was 7-0 St. Pius. They got the ball and they marched right down the field, able to punch it in. It was a 17-yard pass from Hudson Bailey to Tommy Hutzler. They came back around. Maryville able to punch one in as it was a 10-yard pass from Derek Quinlan to Boston Hageman. The answer, though, for Pius, they went back on top. Hutzler, his 2nd touchdown catch of the night, 14-6. But the last 2 scores have come by way of the Spoonfounds. A 1-yard touchdown run for Delton Davis and a 6-yard touchdown pass from Derek Quinlan to Wyatt Garner. And that's where we stand. A 2nd down and 12 on the way for St. Pius. Midway through this first half. Back to pass again, Bailey on the play action, going to his left. Catch Gus McCullough coming, throws this one on the sideline, throws it away. It nails a Maryville player that was not expecting it. That's an incomplete pass and a 3rd and 12 on the way.
Tried to complete it to the Maryville sideline that time. Trainer right over there checking things out.
Listen, I'm upset that Jacob Folstead didn't jump in front and take that one the other way.
His instincts, I thought, would probably kick in on that play as an All-American linebacker for Northwest. I think he's just going to instinctually go ahead and grab that football out of the air, but didn't, and sacrifice was made.
Sacrifice indeed. 5:51 to play in this second quarter. 3rd down and 12 on the way. St. Pius with the football on the Maryville 47-yard line. Larry Cascone just to the right of Hudson Bailey. Now goes in motion from right to left toward the sideline. Bailey back to pass, looking deep. He gets hit as he throws. Ball incomplete. And getting back in the backfield, Major Scarborough with the big hit. Wesley Sneed also getting the rush.
Big Major Scarborough back there introducing himself. Well done, young fella. Quarterback, I don't think he's used to getting a little bit of stain on that jersey, so that's one of the first times that they've been able to get home and really make an impact on that play. So kudos, Major Scarborough, Wesley Sneed coming together to make a big play for the Hounds.
Now, I will say, Bailey's been rushed and hit quite a bit tonight, keeps getting up, keeps stepping into it, and not afraid to fire that ball down the field. But, boy, this Maryville pass rush really getting after it tonight.
Playing with confidence.
On to punt this one away. It is Lewin Toledo. This one will take a St. Pius bounce. It goes inside the 5. It will be picked up at the 4-yard line. 96 yards to work with as Derek Quinlan comes back out to quarterback this offense.
And a kicking situation with no laundry on the field.
Rare. But it was a punt, not a kickoff, so we'll give them a break there.
Folks, if you are not at the Hound Pound, I know a lot of folks are listening. A lot of folks are watching on YouTube. Go to YouTube and check out Spoof Hound Athletics. One of our heroes from Game 1, Keaton Stone, down at UCM. He's tuning in. He's dialed up. He's showing me what it looks like on a picture, and it looks pretty sharp all the way from Warrensburg, Missouri.
Also the Drake family listening down in Texas, so all across the country enjoying some Maryville Spoof Hound football on a beautiful Friday night. Quinlan out of the pistol formation. He'll pass on first down. That quick slant goes into the hands of Cole Zarbano, breaks through one tackle, and he will come up with an 8-yard play on first down. 2nd and 2 coming up.
Nice pitch and catch that time. Cole Zarbano, the junior, he's got big play capability as well. We don't talk about it as much because there's so many seniors out there that get the ball, but Cole, as a junior, he can make that big play for these Hounds.
Maryville going to put 3 receivers to the right side. That is Davis, Zarbano, and Allen. Handoff goes up the middle now to Tucker Turner. Turner cut down right as he gets across that first down marker. He picks up 4, and that's enough to move the chains.
Got chopped down, had visions of a longer run, but that's enough to get that first down for the Hounds. Keep the clock rolling, keep that momentum building. And as we said, that defensive line playing some great football. That offensive line returning the favor.
Inside 5 minutes to play in this first half. Maryville would love a scoring drive, but they'd be okay if that scoring drive took off the next 4.5 minutes from this first half as well. Out of the pistol formation, looking to his left, it is Quinlan. Looking, firing near the sideline. That one, Davis went down to the ground, couldn't pull it in. An incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 on the way.
Again, Turf Monster might have played a bit of a role in that. Looked like Davis slipped just a little bit. Quinlan putting that ball where only his guy could catch it, but just not able to come back to it on that pass play.
And not a ton of rain earlier, but enough to kind of make things slick. 2nd down and 10 from the Maryville 17-yard line. They'll give this time to Turner. Started right, cut back to the left, up the middle. He's wrapped up and brought down. Gets across the 20-yard line. Stepping up to make that play that time for St. Pius. It was Jimmel Holman, freshman defensive lineman. Gain of 5 that time for Turner.
I love the way Turner runs. He runs like he's going to get big play capability every time. Might only pick up 3, 4, 5 yards, but he runs hard.
4 receivers on the field for Maryville. Low snap. Quinlan has to pick this one up from the 15-yard line. Rolls to his left. Eyes down the field. Points deep. He's going to take off and run himself. Gets near the sideline. Breaks through one tackle. He'll take off to the boundary. Gets out of bounds. Plenty for the first time that time as he was ran out of bounds by Carl Moley. And the first time we've called his name this evening.
I was just going to say, Carl Moley is one of those guys that we targeted at the beginning of the game. He's had some huge games for St. Pius. He's got a big upside, one of those guys that's being recruited by some D2 schools, maybe even some D1 schools after this season, but that time Derek Quinlan with the win.
12-yard gain. They'll hand off this time up the middle to Turner. Not a lot doing Might have picked up one that time.
Generous to give him 1 yard, one hard running yard that time. Again, what that does, keep the clock moving. Maryville's strategy here, let's just don't let St. Pius get the ball back in their possession before halftime. Maryville will get the kick to start the second half.
Will we see a flag on a kickoff?
Most likely.
Second down and 9. Quinlan wants to throw. Quick out, going for Allen. That one nearly picked off and taken the other way. Charles Ross III closed quickly and broke up that pass intended for Don Allen.
Derek Quinlan's thrown so many good passes here tonight. That time, just about pick 6. Don Allen had a collision there, broke it up a little bit. Not sure if Don Allen was playing defender that time, but it kind of looked that way. Otherwise, that could have been a nice momentum shift for St. Pius. So a little bit of luck. We'll take luck. We're really good, but we'll take a little luck sometimes. That's kind of your philosophy. If you're a Raiders fan, it has to be.
Sometimes it's better be lucky than good. Wyatt Garner split out by himself, wide left. Check that out. Davis will be in the slot left side. 2 receivers to the right out of the pistol formation. Quinlan, 3 on the play clock. Now back to pass, looking, throwing this one deep down the numbers. For Allen. Don Allen had a step. That one a few too many yards in front of Don. That'll bring up a 4th and 9. Punting situation now for the Hounds with 3:06 to play in this first half. And tonight's game is brought to you by the St. Joseph Sports Commission. Counting down to the inaugural St. Joseph Marathon, September 23rd. Featuring a course with 5 different distances to choose from, including marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K, or a relay. For additional information or to sign up, stjomosports.com. Sadler View on to punt this one away. Back deep for St. Pius. That is Grant Red. Good snap back to View, gets this kick away. An end-over-end punt toward the Maryville sideline. It goes out of bounds. And good field position on the way for St. Pius. And we'll see where they mark this one off. And right at the 41-yard line. 3 minutes even left to play in this first half. An 18-14 Maryville lead. Spoof Hounds have put up a pair of touchdowns in this second quarter. One of them coming after Major Scarborough scooped up a fumble. It was a low snap back to Hudson Bailey, bounced off his shin. Scarborough dove on the ground, picked it up, and that led to Maryville's go-ahead touchdown.
The only turnover of the night thus far went the way of the Spoof Hounds. This defense has really clamped down on the Warriors last several drives. We'll see if they can do it again. They've got to hold them out of the end zone or a scoring opportunity for the next 3 minutes.
And Maryville's been throwing a little more pressure at St. Pius. We've seen Gus McCullough from his outside linebacker position get in the backfield. This time they give to their running back heading toward the near sideline.
That play is going to be credited to Wyatt Garner on the tackle at his corner position, but that was Gus McCullough that made that play happen. He got outside the blockers, forcing the running back into the arms of Wyatt Garner, and Gus was right there too, ready to just level some people.
No Larry Casconi on the field. That handoff went to Jacob Manis. A 2nd down and 8 on the way as Manis lined up to the left of Hudson Bailey. 2:54 to play in the half. Maryville in front by 4. Back to pass. Bailey firing this right side. That one too tall for his receiver. Just out of the reach of Luke Tomps. I thought that one might be a little higher, but Tomps had some get up, just couldn't quite pull it in, and a 3rd and 8 on the way.
3rd and 8, forced by a high pass. Colton Amy, your morning interview, senior, she was all over that play.
And if you missed it, you can find that interview online, of course, at kxcb.org. Coach Webb joining us in studio every Friday morning at 7:49, brings a player along. Happy to have Colton Amy with us today. 3rd down and 8. The Maryville fans, the sideline, everybody getting into this one, hoping for a 4th down on the way. Bailey rolling to his right, dumps this one off into the flats. Rodderman breaks through one tackle. He's got room up the sideline across the 35 to the 30. Brought down out of bounds by Boston Hageman.
Haven't said Jackson Rodderman's name too much tonight, but you can see when he does get the ball in his hands, he makes things happen. That time, the pass rush, fooled just a little bit by that handoff. They had to stay true to their lanes, paused the pass rush just enough that they could get that pass into Rodderman's hands, and he made a little bit out of something there.
34-yard gain that time for St. Pius. This time, handoff going off right tackle. Pick up a 5 on first down. It's like Manis carrying the football once again. Maybe just a long 4 on that. We'll see a 2nd down and 6 coming up now for St. Pius. With the clock down to 2:10 left, and the Warriors would love to take the lead here, down by just 4. Handoff goes to Manis. Patiently waits, now attacks the hole. He gets hit by a whole host of black jerseys. As now Sadler View rips him down in the backfield. The helmet for Manis pops off. He picks up about 3 on that play. Maybe 2. We'll say a 3rd down and 4 on the way. Talk about things getting chippy. Both teams jawing just a little bit, but also just a very physical football game in general. As Larry Casconi back out onto the field for St. Pius.
St. Pius with 2 timeouts left. If they want to use those with 1:47 left in the ball game, ref gives the signal to start that clock up.
3rd and 4, 1:42 to go. In motion, left to right, Max Irvey. They'll give up the middle, Casconi. He cuts up the field, and he is going to be, looks like he's going to be a little bit short of the first down.
A couple of yards short of the first down. Nice, strong run. But again, Maryville, they are finding a way on that defensive run to plug those holes.
Looks like he only got about 1, so a 4th and 3 on the way. And really a pretty massive 4th down and 3 with 1:12 left to play in the first half. Maryville up by 4. With Casconi to his right, the hard count that time from Bailey. Maryville doesn't jump. He looks over at his sideline, gets the play call. Tells his line and his receivers, backs up now next to Casconi. Larry Casconi to his left. The handoff goes to Larry Casconi off left tackle, big hole, breaks through, and he gets brought down to the 10-yard line. Pickup of 9 on 4th and 3.
That time Wyatt Garner just enough to slow him down so Cole Zarbano could clean him up. It looks like Casconi's taking a second here, and he's back down on the turf.
He got up on his feet and then quickly dropped to the ground, so scary moment, a heck of a competitor. Now he's going to walk off the field under his own power. Trainers from St. Pius come out to check on him. As Larry Casconi, a junior running back for St. Pius, he's carried the ball 17 times in this first half.
Casconi was a menace last year as a sophomore, and he's just gotten bigger, faster, stronger. He's going to have one fine season. Looks like he's walking off the field just fine on his own power, but that just means they bring in Manis, who's had some good carries here tonight as well.
Manis to the right of Bailey. 43 seconds left to play here in the half. They try to get the snap away, but a flag falls.
Going to go with a false start on St. Pius.
Now we got the Warriors up 5. That'll be the 4th penalty of the evening on St. Pius. 4 penalties for 41 yards with 41 seconds left to play here in the first half.
That's impressive, Matt. I did not know if our statisticians were keeping track of that yardage on those penalties, but right there, you impressed once again.
Well, credit to Adam Teal doing great work in the booth for us this evening. Clock ticking down to 30 seconds. Snap back to Bailey. Play action. Rolls to his right. Gets this one into the flats to his receiver. Scoops through a couple tackles. Rodderman still on his feet. Wrapped up around the waist by Boston Hageman. A flag does fall out near the 20-yard line. And Northwest offensive line coach Ryan Lessman saying it's definitely coming up on St. Pius.
Yeah, you'll have a chance to add to that total penalty yardage for St. Pius. And now they're just burning clock, burning opportunities. This would have been a huge opportunity for them to put some points on the board, but they're not helping themselves out at all.
Holding call, too, so put them back on the 26-yard line. 22 seconds left to play in the first half. Maryville's in front 18-14. A terrific football game between probably the 2 MEC frontrunners. Savannah kind of in that mix as well, but then they lost back in week 2 to East Buchanan 14-0.
When you look at the district standings then, believe I've got my numbers right, but Savannah is going to be Class 4 football this year, so they will not fall into our district. I'm sure we'll get into that more as the season goes on, but good chance that we could see a Pius team down the road in those district playoffs.
And St. Pius wants a timeout to talk with a second down and very long on the way. 22 seconds remaining in the half. We'll step aside. Back in 30 seconds on KXTV, KRNW.
Support for Spoofhound football comes from Midwest Data Center, specializing in IT and cybersecurity services, including advanced threat monitoring, intrusion prevention, and zero trust solutions. Midwest Data Center, located just off the square in Maryville, and online at mwdata.net.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from Nottoway Valley Bank, celebrating more than 150 years of service to Northwest Missouri. More information on location or at nvb.com. Member FDIC.
So St. Pius backed up. 22 seconds remaining here in this first half. Back to pass, it is Hudson Bailey looking to his right, throws this one to the end zone, has a receiver, it is caught in the back of the end zone, hauled in by guess who? Tommy Hutzler makes his third touchdown catch of the ball game.
Tommy Hutzler having himself a night. That time got Don Allen turned around just a little bit again, slipped on that turf. Beautiful pass, great catch. That's the momentum buster that St. Pius needed going into the half.
Boy, and you felt like Maryville had themselves in a pretty good spot just with a couple penalties back-to-back on Pius, backed themselves up well behind the chains. But as you kind of mentioned there, Maryville defensive back slips on that wet turf, and it kind of gives Hutzler a good opportunity. He kept his feet, got his feet in bounds. It was a good ball from Bailey, and St. Pius is in front. Abella on for the PAT. Maryville with the rush, not able to get there. It's good. 21-18 as we are nearing the end of the first half. 21-18, St. Pius in front.
Can't have a heavyweight battle without heavyweights throwing punches. And both teams coming out swinging here tonight. Offense is playing at a high level. Both these teams are going to pick up a lot of wins in the conference, but that doesn't matter right now. Tonight's game is what matters, and these guys are going to fight to the bitter end to see which of these two teams can pick up that win. Going into halftime, you know Coach Webb's going to have some inspiring things to say. Got to keep those receivers in front of you. Easy for me to say, right? I'm not going up against a guy that's 6'2", 6'3", having a great evening. But got to keep those guys in front of you. Got to like the way the defensive line's putting pressure on the quarterback. They're getting some touches on him, making him think a little bit. But right now, it's Pius with the upper hand.
17 seconds remain here in this first half. Maryville has all 3 timeouts remaining. Now the odds of having a chance to use all of those, pretty slim. But you get a decent return, you make a deep pass, get a quick timeout, and maybe put yourselves in position to throw the ball once to the end zone.
I think Pius will return the favor and do a little squib kick.
Well, back deep for Maryville is Don Allen. So we'll see if they want to put the ball in his hands. As mentioned earlier, but Don had one heck of a
He had a
first
great
game back last week.
Great game last week, a great return the last time he got his hands on a kickoff. So you got to watch out for him on this kickoff return.
Abella. Little loft kick down toward the sideline. Maryville doesn't touch it. Wyatt Garner wisely watches that one go out of bounds. The flag falls, and so Maryville will get some decent field position with 17 seconds to work with. 21-18 the score in favor of St. Pius, as the Warriors' only touchdown of this second quarter coming on that previous drive.
Well coached that time, and I think with Wyatt Garner, that's one of those things that maybe all that youth development football, all that youngsterness in there, that was just a really smart play that time by Wyatt Garner, because had he touched that ball, he might have been down about right there at contact, let it go out of bounds, back up St. Pius, give these guys another chance.
So Coach Webb says, let Julian Abella go ahead and kick this one more time. So Abella will now spot this kick at the 35-yard line. And as we've seen throughout this game, every kickoff, except for the first one, it was blown dead. They redid it, but we've seen a flag on every single kickoff so far in this football game.
Got to be a record of some sort, right?
It's pretty impressive.
I didn't know we were setting Guinness Book of World Records here tonight, but we'll take it.
Tonight's the night. Kick number 2 here for Abella. High end over end kick near the sideline. Garner's going to bring this one in at the 25-yard line. He is streaking up that left sideline before he's cut down. Boy, you kind of had the feeling he might get away.
He was thinking he was running that 100-meter dash from back in the spring, and he about had a step, and that would have been electric.
So they will spot this one down at the St. Pius, check at the Maryville 38-yard line.
And Matt, you're not at all concerned that Maryville can't score in 13 seconds, because we know, right? We know they can. And they're not going to put this baby in park and just let it go. They're going to come out, take another shot.
A lot of cushion here for St. Pius, backing up their defensive backs as Maryville 5 wide receivers in the field. Quinlan steps up, he gets hit and dropped in the backfield. First sack of the evening comes at a pretty opportune time there for St. Pius. Getting back in the backfield, Jimmel Holman. And Maryville is going to call a timeout, their first of the evening, as 6 seconds remain in this first half. 21-18 is the lead right now in favor of St. Pius. Tonight's game brought to you by Laclede Chain Manufacturing on East 1st Street here in Maryville. Laclede is a family-owned company producing various chains for hardware, industrial, snow chains, and more. Additional information is available at lacledechain.com. We've seen the elusive Derek Quinlan just not able to break free that time around, so Maryville grabs a timeout. We'll see what Coach Webb wants to do, facing a 2nd down and 14.
2nd and 14, 2 timeouts in your back pocket. Just 6 seconds on the clock. So see what Maryville does want to do here. Play it safe. Usually doesn't fit in a Matt Houchin offensive vocabulary. Play it safe isn't really a word that he uses a whole lot. So we'll see what they do. Looks like they are going to try to air one more out.
As Quinlan looks to the right, he's going to dump this one off to Delton Davis. Quickly calling a timeout. But all zeros show on the clock. Maryville is trying to pick up a chunk before getting one last feed to the end zone. Not able to do it. 21-18 is our score as we reach halftime. Maryville trailing St. Pius. These two teams split their meetings last year. And this year, we're in for another exciting finish. 21-18, once again, is our score between Maryville and St. Pius, with the Warriors on top. And it's been a busy week of Maryville athletics, Phillip, as we look back at everything that's gone through to this point. And that includes the Maryville boys soccer team getting the conference season underway, picking up a win a little bit earlier this week over Chillicothe. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the soccer head coach, Matt Steckline. That's coming up right here on KXTV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe.
Support for today's game is brought to you by MTE Office Center. With locations in Maryville and Cameron, MTE provides laptops, computers, networking, printing, furniture, and office supplies. More information at mteoffice.com or on Facebook. MTE Office Center, powering business. Also from the United States Air Force, offering more than 130 career choices, education, benefits, and more. Full and part-time opportunities are available now. For more information, Technical Sergeant Katrina Smith can be reached at 816-341-8227 or airforce.com. And Twaddle Realty in Maryville. Broker Brian Twaddles provided real estate services for residential, farm, and commercial properties to the area for more than 25 years. More information available at 562-7562 or twaddlerealty.com. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Pitzenberger Auto Body in Maryville, providing auto collision repair and taking the dents out of accidents. Pitzenberger's also installs ultimate truck bed liners. More at 660-582-4599 or facebook.com/Pitts Body Shop.
Support for today's broadcast comes from Maryville Shelter Insurance Agent Brad Ford, a proud sponsor of the Spoof Hounds. Brad provides coverage for auto, home, life, and business, 24 hours claims assistance, and insurance reviews. More at 562-2911 or in office at 102 North Buchanan. And from Nottoway Valley Bank, celebrating more than 150 years of service to Northwest Missouri. More information on location or at nvb.com, member FDIC. Also from the Maryville Forum, serving the region for more than 150 years, the Forum provides local news, sports, and information online daily at maryvilleforum.com. More at 660-562-2424. And Northwest Cell, serving the region for over 30 years. Along with nationwide coverage, Northwest Cell offers a wide selection of features, including unlimited plans. For more details on plans and devices, visit nwmcell.com.
You're tuned into the voice of the Maryville Spoof Hounds, KXCV, KRNW.
Maryville High School boys soccer off and rolling already this fall, out to a 6-1 start. They played in a couple tournaments, reached the championship in both, including a win last week in the Excelsior Springs Tournament Championship. Also got the MEC schedule rolling last night against Chillicothe. We're joined by head coach Matt Steckline. And Coach, boy, winning 6 out of the first 7, already into conference play, starting that off 1-0-2. Just a really solid start for this group so far.
Yeah, absolutely. We have such a solid group of seniors. It makes sense of underclassmen too, but this group of seniors, they know they have their goal set. They know what they want to accomplish, and that's a big reason why they started off 6-1.
You think about going to Barstow to play in that tournament, playing some big schools, and obviously onto Excelsior Springs, and you knock off Kearney to win that tournament. And these are kids that have played in some big-time matches already, but that early season schedule, that kind of sharpened things up a bit, knowing, all right, the MEC is awfully tough, but once we get into districts and beyond, the gloves come off.
Yeah, they really had to learn in the Varsity tournament and in the Excelsior Springs tournament that you can't, there are some things against some opponents that you can do and score easily, but against better teams that we will face, districts and beyond in the playoffs, you've got to play a certain way. You've got to pass the ball around. You've got to possess the ball. You can't just kick it. Hopefully somebody can run it down and go get it. In some games you can do that, but a lot of these solid teams, you just simply can't do that. And it was fun to watch this group just learn how to move the ball around, control it, possess it between themselves, and then wait for the opportunity to score. And they really learn how to do that with these tough opponents. Because in these last 2 tournaments, we've had 4A, 3A, a 3A, a 2A. We've only played one 1A school in those first 6 games. So great start for the boys, and just what a lesson to learn about how well you have to play together to finish at the end of the season.
For sure, and you play so many different styles too, and heading into the Midland Empire Conference play, Chillicothe didn't have the greatest record heading into last night's match, but packing it in, wanting to really make things difficult offensively, and the Spoof Hounds showing some patience before getting a couple goals later in that second half. Is it just kind of a team that really is, all right, we can run and gun and get up and down, but we can also pack things in and find different ways to play and different ways to beat you?
Yeah. And that's what happened last night with Chillicothe. They kept 8-9 people on the defensive side. I want to say they may have got 3 shots on goal, and that was it. And we got, I don't know how many, but a lot more than that. So we possessed the ball. Shooting up and score doesn't reflect just how much we controlled that game. And we got frustrated, in the first half. But credit to the upperclassmen and the team. They figured some things out in the second half. And like I said, got some scores in there. And credit to Chillicothe for they played some pretty darn good defense on it.
Maryville to this point through 7 matches, outscoring their opponents 16-5. Of course, you've got some players that can find the back of the net, but defensively, what are you guys doing so well with clicking them?
Well, right now, number one, you have an all-three type of goalie, Jack, that stays at the back. That is just, he's long, he's athletic. He's very intelligent soccer player. And his goal isn't just to stop the kick and come in his play. His goal back there is to direct and communicate to his defensive players where they're supposed to be, and he does an excellent job of that. And then our back 4 is 3 seniors, Gavin Ray, Boyd Gallagher, and Lane Hazen, and then a junior, Tucker Wilmot. So when you have that much experience on the defensive side, it is tough for teams to score on us because there's such a good group, highly intelligent group that knows soccer really well.
As we look at it, and Coach Steckline, of course, folks around Maryville know so well that the high-level boys basketball program that you have in the winter, shifting now and joining the soccer team and leading this program after there was a coaching vacancy in the offseason. Can you just talk about what drew you to that and what made this all work?
Oh, just the challenge of something new, and knowing the fact that, I went into this knowing that there's some very talented seniors. Like I mentioned, Jackson Staples already, Boyd Gallagher, all-state type players. Kason Teal, I heard how good he was at soccer, but it's fun to watch this kid play soccer. Now I know why he's all-state. He is clearly the best player we have faced. Not faced. He's the best player I've seen in all the games that I've done so far. He is talented, but does he know the game? And so when this opportunity came up, I knew that. And then when I found out that Adam Teal was going to come on board to volunteer, I felt really comfortable. And I was lucky enough to get Justin Staples also helping coach. And we have such a good staff. And just I enjoy working with these guys, and I enjoy working with these players. It's just been a lot of fun with the high level of coaching and talent that I have surrounding me.
And you guys off and rolling once again, 6-1 to start the season. Savannah coming up on Monday. As we do get later in the season and we hit districts and beyond, of course, the weather changing now too. Are there some little things here that you kind of look at and say, boy, we need to clean this and this up, and that will really allow us to take us to the next level?
Yeah, well, we found that out last night in the Chillicothe game. I don't think our focus was where it needed to be. You know, after coming off of Kearney and Excelsior Springs and some of those games, their focus was there. They were dialed in. We lost that focus a little bit, I think, last night. And they kind of tried to get away with some things that you can't get away with. And so I think that reined us in a little bit. Hey, we've got to do this in every single game that we play to make sure. So, and that's the one thing I think we got from that is you still have to play a certain way no matter who you're playing.
Well, the Spoof Hounds, great start, 6-1, 1-0 in conference play. Coach Steckline, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Hey, thank you very much.
That's Maryville boys soccer head coach Matt Steckline joining us. Once again, the Spoof Hounds on the road Monday, taking on Savannah. We'll step aside and be right back with more here on KXCV, KRNW.
Support for Spoofhound football comes from Mill & Dinsdale Seed, serving farmers across the region for over a decade. Mill & Dinsdale represents Golden Harvest Seed, Pivot BioProven 40, and Precision Planting. To learn more, millanddinsdaleseed.com. And from Twaddle Realty in Maryville. Broker Brian Twaddles provided real estate services for residential, farm, and commercial properties to the area for more than 25 years. For more information, 562-7562 or twaddlerealty.com. Support is also provided by Laclede Chain Manufacturing, a proud supporter of Maryville High School athletics. Employment opportunities at Laclede are available now. For more information or to view available positions, lacledechain.com. And Consumers Oil Company in Maryville. Consumers Oil has served the community for 95 years and continues to be a local source for refined fuels, propane, feed, tire services, grain merchandising, and agronomy services. More online at consumersoilmaryville.com.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from the United States Air Force, offering more than 130 career choices, education, benefits, and more. Full-time opportunities are available now. For more information, Technical Sergeant Katrina Smith can be reached at 816-341-8227 or airforce.com. And from Northwest Missouri Regional Credit Union, serving the area since 1933, the credit union offers in-house decisions on auto and recreational loans within one business day and electronic signatures on loan documents. Northwest Missouri Regional Credit Union, today, tomorrow, together. Also from Northwest AV, providing customers with sales, design, service, and installation of surveillance and security systems for homes and businesses, as well as paging and public address systems. More information at nw-av.com. Today's game is also brought to you by Planet Sub on 4th Street next to Student Body. Planet Sub opens at 11 o'clock every morning and offers a variety of oven-baked subs, cookies, and soups, and is also available for catering. More information at facebook.com/PlanetSubMaryville.
You're tuned into the voice of the Maryville Spoof Hounds, KXCV, KRNW.
21-18 is our score here at halftime. Spoof Hounds trailing the St. Pius Warriors, the second conference game for both of these teams, both 1-0 in the MEC as they entered tonight's matchup. Alongside Philip Horn, I'm Matt Tritton. We've got Adam Teal, our spotter for the evening here in the booth. Heck of a game so far, Philip, as we take a look at these Maryville stats. Derek Quinlan having a nice night through the air, but also the Spoof Hounds trying to get a little bit of that running game going too.
Yeah, you bet. Derek Quinlan, he's got 35 yards on 2 carries. 2 timely carries for Derek Quinlan that set Maryville up with some first down yardage. So he's finding those lanes. He's taking advantage of it. But as we know with Derek Quinlan, he's going to take advantage of what he sees on the field with that arm too. So he's 10 of 19 tonight. He's got 2 touchdowns through the air, 129 yards passing. He's connected with Wyatt Garner the senior, on one of those touchdowns, and then Boston Hageman, another senior, on a receiving touchdown. We've gotten a rushing touchdown tonight, and that came from Delton Davis. He's got 57 yards receiving, but he's got a 1-yard rushing touchdown. And then Tucker Turner, he's been carrying that rock, toting it through that offensive line, but he's meeting up with some tough dudes on the other side. So he's got 7 carries, 23 yards. But again, a couple of those runs have been big plays, picking up first downs for this Maryville offense. So 188 total yards on offense, 129 through the air, 59 rushing. Not a lot to speak of on the return game. A lot of squib kicking going on for both teams here tonight. But high-scoring affair, and might just come down to who's got the ball last.
On the flip side here for St. Pius, 77 rushing yards so far on the evening. A lot of those coming from Larry Casconi. 85 to be exact for Larry Casconi on 17 carries. He has been a workhorse. We did see him get pretty beat up and not feeling the best as he left late in that first half. We'll see if he returns. Jacob Manis has also carried a little bit. He has 8 yards on 3 carries. I mentioned having 77 rushing yards, but 85 for Casconi. Hudson Bailey, he has lost 16. He got negative 16 when he was going back to punt, and he accidentally went down and kneeled on it out near midfield. So kind of a tough luck way to have negative 16 rushing yards, but that's how it goes. Hudson Bailey through the air, though. 10 of 15 passing for 169 yards, 2 touchdowns for Bailey on the evening. Check that, 3 touchdowns. We got marked 1 more in there. All 3 of those going to Tommy Hutzler so far. He has 4 receptions for 84 yards and 3 scores. Max Irby has 3 catches for 22 yards. Jackson Rotterman, 1 catch, 34 yards. Chenoweth, 1 reception, 3 yards. Tomps also 1 reception for 29 yards. The way it looks right now for St. Pius. Maryville trailing in this one currently by the score of 21-18. Support for this evening's broadcast comes from Mosaic Medical Center Maryville, providing comprehensive care close to home. For more information or to schedule an appointment, mymlc.com/Maryville. We'll take a timeout and be back as we talk Maryville Spoofhound Athletics. Outside of football, we've heard about soccer a little bit. We'll kind of take a deep dive, I should say, Philip Horan, deep dive as we go into the rest of the high school fall sports season. That's coming up after the break right here on KXCV, KRNW.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from Northwest Missouri Regional Credit Union, serving residents and employees in Nottoway, Andrew, Atchison, Holt, and Worth counties. Northwest alumni and 19 school districts across the area. Northwest Missouri Regional Credit Union, today, tomorrow, together.
Support for Spoofhound football comes from Midwest Data Center, specializing in IT and cybersecurity services, including advanced threat monitoring, intrusion prevention, and zero trust solutions. Midwest Data Center, located just off the square in Maryville, and online at mwdata.net.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Hy-Vee, a proud supporter of the Maryville R2 School District. Hy-Vee offers catering for game day or any special occasion, grocery delivery service, pharmacy with drive-through, a full-service floral shop, and more. For more information, Hy-Vee.com or 1217 South Main in Maryville.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from local Edward Jones Financial Advisors, offering retirement and investment advice to help customers reach financial goals. Jeanette Patchett, J.R. Kurz, Jeff Von Barron, Chad Hannigan, and Scott Nielsen of Edward Jones Maryville are proud supporters of the Spoofhound.
Today's game is brought to you by local internet provider United Fiber, providing a variety of fiber-fast internet plans for residents and businesses with speeds up to 1 gig. More information is available online at unitedfiber.com.
Back at the Hound Pound alongside Philip Horn. I'm Matt Tritton. The Spoofhounds down 21-18 at the break, but a lot going on around Maryville High School athletics, Phillips, as we kind of take a look around. Cross country's been awfully active. Volleyball getting after it. We see softball. We talked about soccer a little bit, golf as well, and just everybody get going.
Everybody getting in the action this week. Let's start with Spoofhound Tennis and Coach Nicole McGinnis. Her squad had 3 matches this week, played at Benton on Monday, at the Cameron Tournament on Wednesday, and home last night versus Lafayette. Last night, 7-2 win picked up by Coach McGinnis and the Spoofhound Netters. Keep it rolling there with Spoofhound Tennis. Volleyball, let's talk about those gals. Lost on Monday and Tuesday. Lady Hounds Volleyball swept Lafayette all phases last night, so big win for Coach Razak last night. Tomorrow they travel to the Winnetonka tournament, and Spoofhound Volleyball carries the Forum's Athlete of the Week, and that would be Jillian Bagley. So congratulations to Jillian on being named Athlete of the Week this week by the Maryville Daily Forum. Jump down to softball. Coach Tyler Nickerson's squad. Some losses, Jefferson, Savannah, and Benton. Been a bit of a tough week, but the gals, they're growing, they're sticking together. And we hope to see some returns on that investment early. They return to action tomorrow. They're going over to Stanberry to the Stanberry Invitational. Girls golf, coached by Coach Brenda Ricks. And probably the highlight of their week yesterday, beating Central at Mazingo. They won by over 20 strokes. The wins just keep piling up for the Lady Hounds golf team. And then, as you mentioned, both cross country and soccer, they had some big weeks. Cross country, big day last Saturday at the Ray Peck meet. And for the first time since 2017, the girls team brought home a first place team trophy. Catherine Porin took 4th place in that, her first race of the season. And on the boys side of things, Connor Blackford, he won his first meet as a high schooler. So congratulations to Connor. And the boys team took 2nd place in that meet. Last night, the team competed at Platte City. That's a side of districts. It's a really challenging course. So some of the folks that didn't compete there, they went on down to Joplin, and they're participating in the Missouri Southern Stampede. That's a pretty big race today. The collegiates run tomorrow. It is the high school version of that. They'll have a big class, small class division. So we've got about 3-4 boy and girl runners down there in Joplin. And mentioned Connor Blackford. He's up for Athlete of the Week, but he's also up for the Missouri Boys Cross Country Runner of the Week. That's a pretty big honor. Cross country doing some great things. And then we talked a little bit about Coach Matt Steckline. And we've been kidding around about this a little bit. He's the basketball coach. He turned to the pitch this fall. And, we just keep talking about those Ted Lasso comparisons, and they don't stop at the shifty little mustache similarity there. But big-time win last week as the Hounds took first place over Kearney and former coach Jesus Gonzalez in the Excelsior Springs tournament. Kason Teal, he's another one of those guys up for Athlete of the Week. But he's Athlete of the Week. Scored 2 goals, had an assist in that win. And then, as was mentioned in that interview, the Spoofhounds took a 2-0 win over rival Chillicothe. Don't forget to get out there and vote for Athlete of the Week. Here's your candidates. Don Allen football, 6 catches, 125 yards, and 2 TDs versus Chillicothe. Connor Blackford, first high school first place finish for him last week at Ray Peck. And Kason Teal scoring goals and getting assists and leading the team to victory over Kearney in last week's action and this week.
You mentioned the Stampede down there in Joplin, cross-country team taking part in that. We see Northwest Missouri State University cross-country run down in Joplin for that before as well. You're right, that is a big-time meet, so great experience for these high school runners as they'll head down to Joplin. Speaking of cross-country, instead of heading down there, the Northwest Missouri State Bearcat cross-country men's and women's teams, they will be at the Woody Greeno J. Dirksen Invite in Lincoln, Nebraska. That's going to be one that's filled with some Division I, Division II, and the IA JUCO runners. So a lot of talent down there up there, I should say, for Whit Cunningham and company as they'll be on the road tomorrow. Of course, Northwest Missouri State football on the road taking on Fort Hays State. A 7 o'clock kickoff, 6 p.m. pregame here on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe. A big-time game. Bearcats 1-1, but going for their 4th straight win over Fort Hays State, so that'll be a fun one. That's tomorrow. Today, though, a full day of Northwest Missouri State activities. A couple of those sporting events right here on campus. Northwest Missouri State soccer taking on Missouri Western today. That one ended in a 1-1 tie, so the Bearcats now 2-1-2 on the season. Kaylee Rock had the goal in the 65th minute. So Bearcats tie Missouri Western today. Northwest Missouri State volleyball falls in 5 sets to Missouri Southern. The Bearcats took the first set 28-26. Lost by that same score in the second set, 28-26. Couldn't hang on in the next set, 25-18. They tied it up 25-10 and then lost 15-6 in that 5th set. So a rough go there for Northwest volleyball today, but back after it tomorrow as well.
And Matt, one of the biggest sporting events that will be happening tomorrow, 8 o'clock, pickleball. We're going to be getting after it. I hope you can make it.
I can't make it. I have to get ready to go on the road to Hayes.
Could you play like one game? John said you're not leaving until 10 o'clock.
Later than that, 10:30. But I've got a pinched nerve, as Michael Gard will tell you. my long thoracic nerve, so I can't quite get it going just yet.
So now you're an anatomy major.
No, I'm just letting you know the diagnosis.
Well, when you get back into it, come out and play some pickleball, because we got quite the crew out there playing on the north side of Hughes. I mean, the game is just taking over the nation. Started in Seattle, took a little while to get to the Midwest.
We've got a handful of people
in
at Maryville, but it's taken over the nation.
It's taken over the nation. It just took a while to get to Maryville. Speaking of Maryville, I want to give a shout out to some guys that make this field look absolutely gorgeous tonight. TJ Allen, Les Law, Chris Bennett, Adam Townsend. That's the Maryville R2 maintenance crew, if you will. They got it all striped up beautifully. The M looks fantastic. The nice whiteout M here tonight. Field conditions could have been impacted by that weather, but they were not. Their field's holding up really well here tonight. Great job to those gentlemen.
Field looks amazing. Hey, you know what? It would be great. Maryville went out and was able to put some artificial turf down, and obviously everything that goes into that, it'd be awesome. But I will say, showing up today, you look out and you're like, those guys did some awesome work to have this looking perfect.
And you think about it, and obviously these guys are a long way from playing professionally, but you see, let's say quarterbacks that sign big deals to go to big places like New York. They're playing on turf. There's a lot of bad blood right now between athletes and turf fields. You saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers on Monday night. 4 snaps into his career as a Jet. They're blaming a little bit of that on artificial turf. There's probably some good research studies out there. That natural grass looks really good, but, you know, Maryville's used to some of these deep playoff runs. You get into November, December, and the grass stops growing with a turf.
Home field advantage.
I'll let you say that.
Let me say this. You're mentioning that turf and Aaron Rodgers going down. I think there are also probably some studies that say maybe after you reach a certain age, that doing certain activities aren't good for your body. Which I will say, are you older than Aaron Rodgers?
I'm older than Aaron Rodgers. I think about pickleball and injuries all the time. There's been some significant ones out there on that pickleball court, including your thoracic spine, muscle, latissimus dorsi, what do you want to call it? Significant injuries that you've been out for quite a while.
First time.
Listen, I know you enjoyed it.
You had fun. I had a lot of fun. But how much of that too is just enjoying competition and beating me specifically?
Beating me, but also just meeting some new people, enjoying some fellowship, just having a good time.
Just having a good time, which is what we're doing here on Friday night at the Hound Pound. Maryville trailing St. Pius. It's halftime currently. Maryville set to get to receive. I'm thinking pickleball. And just all of it, Yep. Maryville's going to receive the kickoff to start the second half of action as Julian Abella will tee it up at the 40-yard line. Back deep for Maryville is Don Allen. 2 upmen in front of him, Wyatt Garner and Delton Davis. 21-18 is our score. St. Pius, 1 touchdown in that second quarter. It came late in the second quarter, and it boosted them to a 21-7 lead.
And you have to believe the coach, Anthony Simone, at halftime had to have a pretty good word to his players about those self-inflicted wounds. A lot of penalties that assisted Maryville on some of those drives. So you got to think they'll come out and play a little bit cleaner this second half.
Big kick from Abella, high end over end kick. It's going to be returned for Maryville from the 5-yard line. Del Davis gets out toward the right sideline, cuts in, breaks one guy's ankle, gets out to the 33 before he goes down hard. A great return of 28 yards for Delton Davis and some good field position for Maryville to get this drive underway.
We talked about self-inflicted wounds and penalties, and Coach Ryan Lessman and I are on the same page. There was a face mask there late. No penalty called that time. That would have given Maryville even better field position.
Mentioning those self-inflicted wounds for Maryville, or for St. Pius, I should say. You go back last year in Kansas City, it was self-inflicted wounds that allowed St. Pius to come away with a 7-point win over Maryville. So the Spoof Hounds would love to serve that back to the Warriors here on their home field this evening. But right now, St. Pius in front by 3. Davis in motion, left to right. Now to the left of Quinlan, takes the handoff, and the play blown dead before it could get going.
And you talk about St. Pius 2020, 2021, 2022. 3 wins by St. Pius, the 3 in the series. Maryville's owned the series 17-3, but here lately the page has turned. And I think you threw out this stat since 2020. Pius has outscored Maryville think you had it 92-95. So high-scoring games, close games for the most part. There's been a couple blowouts in there, but most of those blowouts came credit of Maryville prior to 2020.
4 receivers on the field after the 5-yard penalty. A 1st and 15. Quinlan slings this one over the middle, caught by Garner, makes one man miss, falls forward, and gets out to the 40-yard line, a pickup of 12 yards as Garner able to make Turner White miss in space.
You talk about slinging the football. Early in the season, Coach Webb was talking about Derek and how he's really, the fundamentals are down. That time, fundamentals out the window. Just sling the ball, which he did. Little sidearm rocket that time to White Garner.
2nd down and 3. They'll give this time to Davis, trying to bounce it outside, get some good blocking across the 45-yard line, upended by White as he goes across the 45. And they're going to spot him down at the 48. A 7-yard pickup for Delton Davis will move the Laclede chains.
Delton Davis, just such a weapon. You know, even on that kickoff return, he was making guys miss and hard to bring down, whether you take him out of the backfield or spread him out wide. Tough guy to bring down.
They'll give it to him out of the backfield once again, following a whole host of blockers. Big Mace McKim leading the charge that time for Davis, and that'll be a pickup of 4 on 1st down.
And why not follow Mace McKim, 6'2", 6'3", 250 pounds, fills out a uniform pretty well, and he's going to be good for many years to come here for these Spoof Hounds.
2nd down and 6 on the way. First possession of this second half goes to the Hounds. They'll hand it off to Davis. Look left now, cuts up the middle, has a nice lane. Gets out to the 42-yard line. He'll pick up 6, and that's enough once again to move your Laclede chains.
Pick up 6, but also good ball security that time. He's about to take a shot right at the point of ball, and that's where you see a lot of times that ball squirts out, fumble. We talked about that ball. It's not round, and you get a hat on that ball, and it pops out. You don't know where it's going to land, where it's going to bounce.
Pistol formation, turn of the deep back this time for Maryville. Back to pass, Quinlan throws this one across the middle. Diving down for it is Don Allen. It skips off the turf, an incomplete pass.
That time just not able to step into that pass enough to get all the mustard on that hot dog. Went a little bit short. Don Allen, he was there, just couldn't quite sling it far enough.
2nd and 10 now for the Hounds as Quinlan looks over to the sideline to get the call. Wyatt Garner, Delton Davis, and Don Allen split out wide to the left side. Out of the shotgun. Back to passes. Quinlan has the breakthrough one. Tackle staying on his feet, still to the sideline. Gets the pass away into the sideline to the bench. He was drugged down. Some big time pressure that time. Grabbing that jersey, pulling on it, Brock Sumler. Also getting into the backfield, too, was Maddox Chenoweth. And, boy, Quinlan just avoiding disaster.
Yeah, that was a heady play that time by Quinlan, just to get the ball in an area where we weren't going to be backed up 10 more yards. We've talked about the young fella, Mace McKim. He's having a great game. That time, he got beat and rushed right in Derek Quinlan's face.
5 receivers once again. As a whistle, as the official coming in from the St. Pius sideline. And an offside. Ooh. Well, they motion offside, and they're going to say it's against Maryville. So back up the Spoof Hounds 5 yards. So a 3rd down and 15. Maryville moving the chains, driving, some productive plays, but now facing a 3rd down and 15. Pius, 2 defensive linemen hand in the dirt, also 2 standing defensive ends. Back to pass again is Quinlan, rolling to his left, looking downfield. He'll fire this one, lost it up high for Delton Davis. Waits on it, brings it in at the 15, drug out of bounds inside the 10.
Huge play that time by the Maryville offense, but I'm going to go right back to Mace McKim, and he held his block long enough that Derek Quinlan had some time to get comfortable and launch that ball downfield. So way to come back, got beat the last play. Young fella gets right back in there and holds his block long enough to get Derek Quinlan a shot downfield, and there's that connection. Derek Quinlan, Delton Davis, we're going to talk about it all season long, and when those things can happen, expect big nights out of these Hounds.
That one actually goes for 32 yards. They say he stepped out of bounds at the 15. Checked at the 14, so we'll say 33. Changed that one in the last minute there, Philip. Sorry. So a 33-yard completion. 10 minutes even left to go in this third quarter. Maryville down 3. They fake the give to Davis. Bouncing out left side is Quinlan. Has to win and run. Cuts inside one block into the end zone. Touchdown. But a flag does fall late. It looks like this might be a holding on Maryville down the field.
Shifty running that time by Derek Quinlan. Getting to the outside. Thought he had an open lane. Might have had an open lane because of a penalty against the Hounds. It looks like that is going to come back.
Holding is the call against the Hounds.
9:53 to play here in this third quarter as we're getting this call. That flag fell right around the 8-yard line.
That is a 10-yard penalty.
So a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Quinlan was almost at the sticks whenever that penalty came down. So Maryville's going to face now 1st and 12.
Yeah, we were getting a little clarification from our spotter, Adam Keel, on that. From the penalty, it's going to be a 10-yard walk-off. So he was at the sticks when they threw the flag. Not the worst penalty of the night for these Hounds.
Handoff goes to Davis, bounces outside right, gets around the edge, gets to the 10-yard line, spins back into the middle of the field, on his feet, into the end zone, touchdown, Spoof Hounds.
What a play that time by Delton Davis to take this lead back in favor of the Spoof Hounds. Thought that he was going to be dead to rights. About 4 or 5 St. Pius Warriors all over him. Little spin move, hits the Jets, pay dirt, across the goal line. Hounds back up. See what they do here on this extra point try.
Boy, got to the outside, got to the 10. You're thinking cut back in, fall forward, pick up 2 more. But that spin move got past the St. Pius defense and into the end zone. A 14-yard run for Davis. Low snap. It is handled by Walter. Kick on the way from Noah. And it's through the uprights. Maryville on top. 25-21 with 9:44 to play in the third quarter. We'll take a break and be back with more Maryville Spoof Hound football.
Support for today's game comes from McLeod Chain Manufacturing, a proud supporter of Maryville High School athletics. Employment opportunities at McLeod are available now. For more information or to view available positions, McLeodchain.com.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from local Edward Jones Financial Advisors, offering retirement and investment advice to help customers reach financial goals. Jeanette Patchett, J.R. Kurz, Jeff Von Barron, Chad Hannigan, and Scott Nielsen of Edward Jones Maryville are proud supporters of the Spoof Hounds.
9:44 left to go here in the third quarter, and Maryville jumps back in front. What a drive when they had to have it, Philip Porin.
Had to have that drive. Really some spectacular play right there between Derek Quinlan and Delton Davis. We come to expect it every night. A big pass play set us up down near the goal line, and then Delton Davis just does the rest. What a fantastic run that was. Spin move at the end, and puts a cherry on top by taking across the goal line, hitting pay dirt, putting Maryville right back on top.
Bellamy line drive kick, bounces up the 35-yard line, scooped up there by St. Pius, spinning out to the 40 and wrapped up and brought down. Boston Hagman, one of the many black jerseys getting in there, also getting up for the pile. Sadler View and Gus McCall as that one returned that time by Jacob Manis.
Jacob Manis, Delton Davis, everybody's putting in the spin cycle here tonight. A lot of spinning going on there, and he was able to pick up some extra yards because of it, setting Pius up at the 40-yard line. Not their worst field position of the night, but we're going to see right away if this Maryville defense can put a little juice into things like the offense just did.
Hudson Bailey onto the field for his first drive of this second half. He pitches out to Larry Cascone. Cascone gets upfield, cuts back to the middle of the field. Hit by Major Scarborough. And it looks like he'll pick up 4 yards on 1st and 10.
Great pursuit that time by the Maryville defense. A whole host of helmets there to greet Cascone. We saw him go down late in the second half, so good to see the young fella back out there. He's a bruiser. He's a gamer. He's going to get his yards yet to come, but the pursuit by the defense that time was pure, limiting his gain.
Coming up on 9 minutes to play in the third quarter, a 4-point Maryville lead. They give to Cascone once again, following Rotterman. His lead blocker has an opening, gets the first down, runs through a defender, spins, and he is dropped by Gus McCullough inside the 40-yard line.
Had a couple guys looking to just kind of poke at the ball that time. Gus McCullough said, not having that, we'll just take him down to the dirt. But the player on that one particular play there was Jackson Rotterman. He did not get the ball, but he laid the wood. He was the lead blocker and really paved the way that time for Cascone to pick up a big gain.
Unofficial stats right now for Larry Cascone, 109 rushing yards on the night. Back to pass, Hudson Bailey on 1st and 10, looking deep down that left sideline, going up, batted away by Wyatt Garner. Great play as they were trying to connect once again with Tommy Hutzler.
That time step for step with Tommy Hutzler and Wyatt Garner. Boy, I thought maybe he's going to get his paws on that ball. He got one on it, but I thought maybe that was interception. Not to be.
Not a ton of air put
Not
under
that
that
time.
one, but it's still a good ball from Bailey. A nice play by Garner to go up and get that left hand on it, and a 2nd and 10 on the way.
Garner, one of the better cornerbacks in the conference. You don't want to pick on him too much, and you can kind of see why on that play.
Rotterman in motion, left to right. They pitch out to Cascone, trying to get to that right edge, cuts under a defender, falls forward. Gus McCullough in the area as Cascone goes to the ground to pick up a 2 on 2nd down.
Gus McCullough forcing that play back inside. Didn't get the tackle, but he sure forced that play to a point where it only picked up a couple.
3rd down and 8 on the way for St. Pius. Trailing Maryville 25-21. Trying to answer the touchdown drive for Maryville. They had to open up this second half. Bailey glances at the sideline, steps up, barks at his offensive line. He'll have Cascone to his right. Takes a snap. Back to pass. Deep drop. Wants to fire this one deep. He is sacked. Major Scarborough gets back there and drops Bailey.
Major Scarborough having a big-time impact on the football game here tonight. Puts St. Pius in a position where you don't even think about it. Time to bring on the punt team. Huge loss that time. Major Scarborough having himself a football game.
Unofficial stats for Major Scarborough. Sack, QB hit, fumble recovery. That's a loss of 10 for Hudson Bailey.
That's a career for some guys.
That's
not
more
me.
than you had in 4 years at Red Oak.
That's right. Not me.
On to punt this one away is Toledo. High vertical spiral this time for St. Pius. Takes a bounce inside the 15-yard line. Looks like it deflected off the St. Pius player. They're going to say this one's down about the 8-yard line. 6:59 to play in the third quarter. Maryville came out and took the lead. Their first drive of the second half. It was a 14-yard touchdown run by Delton Davis. Then the Spoof Hounds able to force a punt. And we have an officials timeout. Chance for a water break for both teams. Chance for a water break for Philip and I as well. We'll step aside and be back in 30 seconds right here on KXCV KRNW.
Support for the Bearcat Radio Network is provided by Twaddle Realty in Maryville. Broker Brian Twaddles provided real estate services for residential, farm, and commercial properties for more than 25 years. More information at 562-7562 or twaddlerealty.com. Support for Spoofhound football comes from Millen Dinsdale Seed, serving farmers across the region for over a decade. Millen Dinsdale represents Golden Harvest Seed, Pivot Bio Proven 40, and Precision Planting. To learn more, millendinsdaleseed.com.
6:59 to play in the third quarter. 25-21 is our score. Maryville in front. And a chance now not only to go out and get a score, but you eat up some clock, but to make this a 2-possession ball game. Alongside Philip Horn, I'm Matt Trent. Thanks for joining us on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe. Davis to the right of Quinlan in the backfield. Turner to his left, out of the shotgun. Derek Quinlan takes it. He'll give this time. Check that. Don Allen in the backfield. Allen takes the handoff, trying to get outside right, and he is wrestled to the ground. Coming up to make that tackle, Gable Gross.
Physical run that time by Don Allen. He really was definitely, wasn't going to go down by one guy. Took about 2 or 3 that time. And even then, kind of fell forward for a couple additional yards.
Don Allen picks up 5. On 2nd and 5, they give out to Delton Davis, sweeping out to the left, tripped up. Just got him caught by his ankles as he was trying to turn the corner. A nice play that time. Grant Red able to come up and make the play.
Grant Red's got a little bit of speed too. We know Delton, he's got some speed plus some wiggle. That time Grant Red made the play, but you already spotted it. There's some laundry on the field. Looks like it's going to be hold against Maryville.
So forget the negated play, or the negative run, I should say, as Anthony Simone going to take this penalty on the Spoof Hounds. Getting the explanation right now from the officials.
Kind of talked about it coming out of halftime, how in the first half, St. Pius, they really hurt themselves with penalties, and so far in the second half, it's Maryville returning the favor. Unfortunately, picking up some yellow laundry seems to be always on them here in the second half, and they're just going to have to overcome some adversity, get this first down.
Spot foul, actually be about an 8-yard loss, so a 2nd down and 13 on the way forward. Maryville back to passes. Quinlan looking downfield, steps up in the pocket, wants to let it fly. Now he's going to take off and run, but he gets wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. And once again, Jamel Holman has made some big plays from that defensive line for St. Pius.
And Carl Moley was in there as well. Not a guy you're going to get away from. Looked like he had a lane right down the middle, but that collapsed very quickly for Derek Quinlan. Not much of a gain that time, and you see your quarterback get slammed to the turf. Don't want to see him take too many more of those type of hits.
5.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Maryville comes out with 5 wide. A 3rd and 13 from their own 10-yard line. 4-man rush out of St. Pius. Looking, quick slant, goes to Davis. Stops, turns, back to his right, gets up the right sideline across the 30 to 40-yard line. He is off to the races. Delton Davis, 30, 25, 21 man to beat into the end zone. Delton Davis, 90-yard pitch and catch from Derek Quinlan, and Maryville goes on top, 31-21.
Have yourself a night, D-squared. Holy smokes. This kid's going to run out of gas, you think. But no, he just keeps on trucking. I thought possibly the Warriors had a chance at an ankle, but did not. Delton Davis, not just the speed, but also the awareness on the field, able to go from the middle to kick it out to the edge, bring it to the near side, and like you said, off to the races for D-squared. Another touchdown for Delton Davis on the night. He's building himself a statistical night.
Previous drive, gets down to the 10-yard line. He's in traffic. The spin move, a nifty play, gets into the end zone. This time, he's angling toward the middle of the field, stops the hashes, reverses course, gets to the sideline, and just takes off. Just a heady play by a senior wide receiver on the field. The PAT is good. It's a 2-possession ball game. 32-21, Hounds in front. Still 5:04 to play in the third quarter. We'll step aside. Back with more on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe.
Support for today's game comes from Compass Dental Group, providing full dentistry from braces and implants to same-day crowns and more from Drs. Bruce Twaddle, Brian Viertaler, and Spencer Twaddle. Compass Dental Group proudly supports Spoof-Hound Athletics. For more information, compassdentalgroup.com.
Support comes from Hallelujah Counseling on South Main in Maryville, offering Christian-based mental health counseling, including anxiety and depression therapy, trauma counseling, stress management, relationship issues, and more. To schedule a consultation, 660-223-1700.
5:04 to play in the third quarter, 32-21 as we take a look, mentioning Delton Davis, but Derek Quinlan's stats too. He's been awfully good throwing it.
Yeah, this half he's 3 of 4 with a touchdown, and boy, some big plays. He's got over 125 yards just in this half. Derek Quinlan's night, he's looking at 260 passing, and, looking at some record books, keep those records up to date. You're going to put his name in some of those categories.
A little squib kick for Maryville, gets just across the 50. Diving after it, Pius able to get it back in good field position as they'll start off this drive down by 11.
How about Delton Davis's night? He's 180 yards receiving. We've seen him be electric with the football too, carrying it out of the backfield, 32 yards. So Delton Davis, all-purpose yards, he's well over 200 all by himself.
Big night for the senior. He's not on the field right now, typically playing outside linebacker. He's getting a bit of a break.
He's going to be getting some oxygen. Give the boy a break. Holy smokes.
Our linebackers right now, McCullough, View, and Turner. as St. Pius finds themselves in very unfamiliar territory, down 2 possessions. Handoff up the middle, Larry Cascone, and he's going to get bottled up after about 1.5. And now the St. Pius team, they got a quarterback that can throw the ball, and it looks very good. But they've got an offensive line that's really been trying to pound away at Maryville, and Cascone's been carrying a lot of the load. All of a sudden, they have to shift gears just a bit maybe and think about being a little more up-tempo to this point, because you know Cascone's wearing it already. 21 carries, and we're not even out of the third quarter. They'll give to him once again. No, it's a fake. Rolling out to his right, Bailey trying to dump this one off. He gets it out to Irby. Irby able to catch it in traffic out across the 30-yard line before he is wrestled to the ground.
Again, that time Gus Nicola saving the tackle that time, making the tackle that time on Irby, who had a lot of green grass in front of him. Again, just a little bit of a fake on that handoff causes your defensive lineman to pause just enough to get that pass downfield. Big play that time by St. Pius. See if they keep that up.
Hands off goes to Cascone off the right tackle. Big hold. He's going to pick up 14 before he goes to the ground.
And if you're Hudson Bailey, you're just a sophomore quarterback. Don't mean that just. He's a great quarterback, but he's just a sophomore. Your greatest ally is your run game. That's going to set up that pass game.
And again, this time going off toward that right sideline. And it looks like that is Cascone getting up. And he is really feeling it, limping to the sideline for St. Pius as they have got a 2nd and 5 on the way.
And I think Boston Hageman made that tackle. I think he came up just a little bit gimpy as well. He stayed in the football game, but he's been very active here again tonight. And you know, if your safety's making those tackles, he's all over the field.
Pitch this time goes to Manis off the right side. Manis gets hit and drilled. He's going to pick up about 7, but guess who? Gus McCullough right there.
Gus the Bus. He's introducing himself to every one of these players tonight. That time a decleater. That's the kind of film study that you like to see on a Sunday morning. You're going to rewind and rewind and watch that over and over again. That was a textbook tackle that time by Gus the Bus.
Fake the handoff this time, Manis. They try to dump it off underneath. It goes to Roderman. Roderman hit and dropped by Sadler View. It'll be a gain of 4. A 2nd and goal coming up.
Good play that time, Sadler View staying home, watching Roderman. He's an athlete, Roderman is. He's a big guy. He doesn't get a lot of touches, but when he does, I think in his mind, he's thinking touchdown every single time. We saw him on a huge play earlier where he was the main blocker and took a couple of spoof hounds out, so you got to keep an eye on that guy.
2nd and goal from the 2, going off left side. It is Manis fighting for it, just able to break the plane into the end zone. And St. Pius fired up as they're back within 1 score. A 2-yard run that time for Jacob Manis. His 5th carry of the night. 5 carries, 16 yards, and a touchdown with a PAT on the way.
Manis, the guy on the season who's averaging 8.4 yards per carry. He's a very capable back when Cascone's not in the ball game. That time he showed you why.
On to go for the 2-point conversion. They fake the pitch. Bailey gets rid of it in the middle of the field. Wide open receiver is Jackson Roderman. The 2-point conversion is good. And it's a 3-point ball game. 32-29, 2:39 to play in the third quarter. We'll step aside, be back with more Maryville Spoonfound football.
Today's game is brought to you by local internet provider United Fiber, providing a variety of fiber-fast internet plans for residents and businesses with speeds up to 1 gig. More information is available online at unitedfiber.com.
Support for today's game comes from Nucor LMP on East 1st in Maryville, specializing in cold finish steel products and emphasizing safety for its employees. Nucor is a proud supporter of Spoonfound Athletics. For more information, 660-582-3127.
2:39 to play in what has been an eventful third quarter. Maryville back-to-back touchdowns. They took the lead, went up by 11. St. Pius comes right back down the field. They're within 3. They're about to kick the ball back to the Spoonhounds.
Spoonhounds offense is clicking, if you will. 355 yards through 3 quarters of football with just a couple minutes left here in the third quarter. Chance to add to that total. But we kind of talked early that Maryville's going to have to rely on that offense to go full tilt if they want to stay in this football game against some guys that have the athletes that can keep up with our guys. So right now it's been Derek Quinlan and Delton Davis putting on a show.
Arbella gets into this one. They'll boot it back deep. Maryville from about the 4-yard line. And a big hit this time delivered by St. Pius. It is Charles Ross III. Don Allen that time the return for Maryville. He'll get about 16 yards before he's dropped at the 20. And that's where the Hounds will start this upcoming drive.
Don Allen's had his eyes set on some big kickoff returns each time that he's had a chance. That time, Ross stalled him out and really stonewalled him.
First and 10 from the 20. 2:35 to play in the third quarter. Maryville with the football. Last possession was a 90-yard touchdown pass. Derek Quinlan to Delton Davis. Out of the pistol formation. Quinlan back to pass, looking left. Now goes back right, and he will find White. Garner breaks off one tackle, cuts back from left to right, and he's tackled in the middle of the field.
White Garner coming off the field right there, taking a little bit of a break, but boy, you could see the explosiveness once he got his hands on that football, and he turned it upfield in a heartbeat. Big play that time for the Hounds.
14-yard gain. That'll move the Laclede chains. Going in motion right to left into the backfield is Don Allen. Maryville this time. The handoff going to Turner. He's got a wide open hole. Gets out right side across the 40 down to the 45-yard line to 46 before he's brought down. Give him 12.
Great run that time, Tucker Turner. Great to see that offensive line who's been doing such a great job in pass protection. Open up some holes for Tucker Turner. Let him get his yards. Tucker Turner sitting at 35 on 8 carries, but none bigger than that 12-yard gain right there.
We'll say 13. The nose of the football now touching the 47. Handoff up the middle. Davis is going to bounce it outside right. Gets to the 50. Turns up the field. And he'll take up a little extra as well. And a flag now on the sideline. On the ground is Boston Hageman, the officials talking. It looks like Molly, the linebacker, trying to get his team in check and be a leader out there for this club. We'll see if this one's going to come up on Pius jawing with a late push maybe, or if Maryville had something to say when they were on the Spoof Hound sideline.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's not going to go against Pius.
Coach Webb's getting after his club on the sideline too.
Having a conversation there.
And really, it is going both ways. Both teams have plenty to say to their opposition tonight. As we're still trying to wait and see where this ball's going to be spotted after the run to see how much Davis officially picked up. As the official personal foul on Maryville.
That could be a surprise right there.
So as Adam mentioned to us here, let's be honest, a dead ball foul, so if they got the first down, it'll still be a first down on the way from Maryville, but it depends on where they were going to spot that for Delton Davis. I guess he got a 10-yard pickup at this moment because they still have that first down signal. We're still waiting to see officially.
It's probably a good thing we don't monitor the blood pressure of the coaches throughout the course of the game because it's going to be pretty high after that call.
And so a first and 10 from the 47-yard line. We'll say there's a 10-yard run there with Delton. Now a penalty flag comes in right as that play gets going. A handoff up the middle goes to Turner. Another sizable run. And I couldn't tell who that was, but some Maryville player was
Maryville as well.
Phoenix Phillips
illegal
pancaking a St. Pius player. But as Phillips this one coming up on the Spoof Hounds, they'll back up some more. Illegal motion. So you combine the last two plays, that is 20 yards worth of penalties.
If you look at the bright side of things, it's still first down. We'll replay first down. Unfortunately, it's going to be 1st and 15, but you know what? I don't know that Derek Quinlan looks at the and number that follows. He doesn't really care. He just wants to know where the goal line is, and I'll chuck it down there.
So he's back to pass here on 1st and 15. Fires across the middle. He has the receiver. This one caught across the 30-yard line down inside the 25. Don Allen. 1st and 15. We'll go ahead and take 40.
Matt, that play right there was more of what you expect out of your college quarterback. He looked off the safety. He was checking out right over there at Delton Davis, and he had all the attention on Delton Davis, moved everybody with his eyes, came back that time to Don Allen. Beautiful pitch and catch, great strike, threw it on a rope. Don Allen did the rest.
Handoff this time goes to Allen. Allen right up the middle, breaking through arm tackles before he is stuck. Big hit that time, put on by Luan Toledo.
Luan Toledo, how do you do? That was one fine stick by the young man.
So that previous play goes for 38 yards. That time to Turner. It goes for 5, a 2nd and 5, inside a minute to play here in this third quarter. 4 receivers on the field for the Hounds. Now they'll put Davis in motion. He goes left to right into the backfield. Handoff goes to Delton. Shifty in the hole. Now he gets hit and driven back by a host of white jerseys. A pickup of 2 that time for Delton. So a 3rd down and 3 on the way here for Maryville. Back to pass is Garner. Looks right, fires a quick slant, looking for Hageman, and that one was nearly picked off. Almost getting his hands on it was Jesse Lee.
Jesse Lee I think he almost got his hands on one earlier. It's the same guy, right? He's been ball hawking out there today, so that would have been a major momentum crusher, but does bring up 4th down. 4th down and manageable if you're looking at the Maryville offense. Coach Houchin, he's got to play dialed in just for this.
We got a 4th down and 12, let's say, with 6 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Allen and Hageman split out wide to the right. We've got Garner and Davis to the left. Allen in motion. They're going to run Quinlan to the right. He goes through the hole, and he's going to be awfully close to that 1st down marker. He needed to get to the 11, and I think he only got to the 12, a 3-yard pickup. Well, now that they're going to spot it, and the Maryville kids think they got it. It is awfully close. Pius is on their sideline celebrating right now, and they're going to say it is just
White
short.
hat comes in and gives them the indication. Got 3 out of needed 4, is that right?
Needed 4 and
3.
Picked up by 3.5. 1 second left in this third quarter, and it's a 3-point ball game. Well, now it's St. Pius' turn. They got the stop they needed. We'll see Hudson Bailey back on the field. Larry Casconi's been beat up throughout the night, but he's right back out there to the right of Bailey. Final play on the way. Final play of the third quarter, I should say, coming up here, as they'll give to Casconi. He gets a good hole up the middle, driven to the ground. Sadly, he with the tackle, but not before. Larry Casconi picks up 7 as this third quarter comes to a close. 32-29. Maryville in front, but St. Pius with the football. We'll step aside. We'll be back with your 4th quarter of action right here on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe.
Support for today's Spoof Hound broadcast comes from Northwest Cell, serving the region for over 30 years. Along with nationwide coverage, Northwest Cell offers a wide selection of features, including unlimited plans. For more details on plans and devices, nwmcell.com.
Support for the Spoof Hounds on radio comes from Mosaic Medical Center, Maryville, providing comprehensive care close to home. For more information or to schedule an appointment, 660-562-2525 or mymlc.com/Maryville. This Spoof Hound broadcast is underwritten by FCS Financial of Maryville. FCS is a customer-owned ag lender that's served Missouri for over a century with loans for farm equipment, livestock, beginning farmers, hunting land, rural homes, and more. For more information, 660-582-6464 or myfcsfinancial.com.
Support for KXCV KRNW comes from the Northwest Technical School, offering a variety of adult education courses this fall, ranging from dance like salsa and the Western two-step to arts and crafts such as rug braiding, painting, and t-shirt quilting. The full fall catalog of courses can be found online at kxcv.org or nts.maryville.k12.mo.us.
Still plenty of fireworks left in this one. 4th quarter just getting underway. Handoff for Pius, goes up the middle. Casconi bounces back left, and he has ridden down Nielsen, Zarbano, all in on that one. A 2nd and 2 will bring up now a 3rd and 2. No gain that time for Larry Cascone.
This is where you want your defense to stand strong. Going into the 4th quarter, this is the moneymaker quarter in a tight ball game. A game that's seen some offensive statistics that are just popping off the screen. Quinlan 15 of 26, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air tonight. Might need all of that unless this defense can rise up, force a turnover, or at least force a punt.
3rd and long 2. Bailey wants to throw for it. Quick pass goes left side. Caught on the sideline and out of bounds. It is Tommy Hutzler. He'll pick up 4, and that'll be enough for a first down.
Great route that time. Tommy Hutzler just running it out, knowing where he's at on the field, catching that football right by the sticks, picking up just enough to keep the chains moving here for the Warriors.
Hutzler, 7 receptions on the season coming into the night. He has 6 in this game alone, including a trio of touchdowns. Rotterman goes in motion across the formation, right to left. They'll give up the middle to Cascone. He gets to the tackle and then pushes forward. He'll pick up 4 on first down.
That's been kind of the night for Cascone. First down, hand the ball off to him, and he's picking up 3, 4, 5 yards each and every time. Now he's starting to bring a couple spoof hounds with him, and you've got to think, as much as we've rotated in that defensive line, that offensive line for the Warriors, there's some big dudes out there, so they're putting that weight now. They're leaning on you all game long. Just don't want to see your guys get wore out.
2nd and down now for Pius. Bailey fakes the give. He'll dump this one off into the flats for Rotterman. Rotterman able to take the tackle just at the right sideline before he is forced out of bounds near the 45.
Rotterman, he's been one of those guys that's all night long just kind of waiting to get uncorked. And there's an example of kind of a secret weapon a little bit. He's not a secret, but they don't use him a lot. They've shifted him in and out. That time, nice pickup for Rotterman. Got to keep a hat on that guy.
19-yard pickup as Bailey gets it to Rotterman from the 49-yard line. Not yet into Maryville territory is St. Pius. They fake the give to Cascone. Looking down the field, Bailey wants to uncork this one. That one high, it is caught. A heck of a hit that time put on by Dawson Hegeman, but Irby hangs on, and the ball down to the 35-yard line of the Hounds, and now Irby, he got up right away, but he is slow getting to his sideline. Cole Zarbano helped him halfway, but you could tell that that hit shook him up.
That time, St. Pius just spread us out just a little bit too wide on the field. Zarbano and looked like Hageman that time. Because Hageman with a big hit that time on Irby. Sent Irby to the sidelines, but not after a big completion over the middle.
Handoff goes to Cascone. Has a lead blocker. Fights forward, keeps the legs turning. He's going to pick up 4 or 5 as some little extracurriculars. Phoenix Phillips getting up off the bottom of the pile. Got pushed a little bit by a lineman there for Pius.
That time the ball squirted out toward the end of that play. But, of course, they called the runner down by contact, and unfortunately, Maryville not a chance to recover that fumble.
Hounds did recover a fumble in the first half. It was Major Scarborough jumping on one after it's a low snap to Hudson Bailey. 2nd down and 6. Bailey gives to Cascone. Has a lead blocker. It's Rotterman. He is wrapped up and brought down by Hageman once again after a pickup of 4. That was carry number 28 on the night for Cascone.
Yeah, they're starting to stack up a little bit, and I'm not so sure if you're not a coach for the Maryville Spoof Hounds, you don't want the refs to kind of keep a look on Hutzler that time. Looked like he was blocking him in the back against Colton Amy, getting him out of the way, but obviously not called on that play. Warriors right back to the line of scrimmage, using a little bit more tempo here as we've gone through this second half.
Coming up on 9 minutes to play in the ballgame. Maryville tightens up on that defensive line. 2 tight ends on the field for St. Pius, including Rotterman there, wing back on the left side. He's been the lead blocker a lot of times. This time it goes to Manus. Manus cuts upfield. He's breaking 3 tackles. He'll get down near the 15-yard line. Manus that time following his big offensive lineman. It was Lucas Kanabi pulling. And that will get St. Pius down to the 15.
Manus with those fresh legs, and now they're going to try to catch Maryville with the guy running off the field, and it looked like I think that was maybe Wesley Sneed or Liebhart that got off the field just in time. But Maryville trying to run some guys in and out along that defensive line. The Warriors, meanwhile, using tempo to their advantage.
Manis goes for 1 yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up. 8:20 to play. Clock ticking. Maryville in front by 3. Spoonhounds needing someone to step up with a big play, whether that's a tackle for a loss, forcing a fumble, coming up with an interception.
Haven't seen a lot of pressure in the face of Hudson Bailey here in the second half, so maybe a timely sack or at least a pressure would be just what the doctor ordered.
With the man going in motion, they give to Casconi up the middle once again. He's wrapped up near the line of scrimmage, but again, he keeps moving and falls forward. And this will bring up a 3rd down, long 5, maybe 6.
Lucas Greenteller, I haven't said his name a whole lot tonight, but he plays some solid football that time. Was able to get his mitts on Casconi and limit the damage on that run.
Third down and 6 coming up for St. Pius. They fake to give to Casconi. Rolling right. Pressure in his face. Bailey able to get rid of it. Waterman with the catch. Outside across the 5. Makes one man miss into the end zone. Touchdown St. Pius. Maryville coaches and players looking for flags all over with the holding on the field. Nothing happening. And St. Pius takes the lead right back, 35-32 with the PAT on the way.
Maryville broadcasters wondering how that was not called a hold on Colton Amy earlier, blocking the back, that time clearly just pulling him down right in the action. He had an opportunity to make a play, not when you're getting penalized, being brought to the turf. That's a tough one if you're Maryville.
Pass from Bailey to Roderman. Gives the lead back to St. Pius to make it a 4-point game. Abella, the PAT on the way. And it is good. 36-32 with 7:09 left to play. Maryville out there trying to answer. You're listening to Maryville Spoonhound Football on KXCV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe.
Support for today's game comes from Nucor LMP on East 1st in Maryville, specializing in cold finish steel products while emphasizing safety for its employees. Nucor is a proud supporter of Spoonhound Athletics. For more information, 660-582-3127.
Support for today's game is brought to you by MTE Office Center. With locations in Maryville and Cameron, MTE provides laptops, computers, networking, printing, furniture, and office supplies. More information at mteoffice.com or on Facebook. MTE Office Center, powering business.
7:09 to play. What a game we've had so far. Maryville down 21-18 at halftime, up 32-29 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Now St. Pius back in front, 36-32.
Northwest Athletic Director Andy Peterson stopped by, and I think Andy wouldn't commit to it, but I think he thought that was a hold as well right there on that play with Colton Amy. But he's been very diplomatic, doesn't want to criticize anybody.
We'll see Abella tee this one up for St. Pius once again. Maryville's had some long drives where they've really churned them out, worked their way down the field and punched it in. They've also had some drives where it's been a big play, including a 90-yard touchdown for Delton Davis already once. Trying to shake and bake his way up to the 19-yard lane where he's brought down. Just over 7 minutes to play here in this ballgame. Maryville down by 4. We will see the Spoonhound offense come back out onto the field.
Mentioned it just a little bit ago, Derek Quinlan, his night, 15 of 26, 312 passing, 3 touchdowns, and going to have to squeeze a few more out of him if we're going to come back and get this victory here in the 4th quarter.
Officials time out on the field. We will step aside for 30 seconds and be back with more on KXCV KRNW.
Support for today's game comes from the Northwest Missouri Regional Council of Governments, helping those struggling to afford internet service through the Affordable Connectivity Program. Joy has information at 660-582-5121, extension 1. Marketing assistance from the FCC. Today's Spoonhound broadcast is brought to you by Laclede Chain Manufacturing on East 1st Street in Maryville. Laclede is a family-owned company producing various chains for hardware, industrial, snow chains, and more. Additional information is at lacledechain.com.
Maryville Maryville comes back out onto the field. 7:04 to play. Trailing by 4, 36-32 with Philip Horn. I'm Matt Tritton. Thanks for joining us for high school football on a beautiful Friday night here at the Hound Pound. A little rain early, but that's cleared off. It's about a perfect September evening. And Maryville would love to make it maybe a little more perfect. Is that possible? Come up with a scoring drive, a stop, and maybe salt this one away. Pistol formation for Derek Quinlan. He'll take the snap. He turns. He gives to Turner. Turner fights forward as he has one St. Pius defender riding him through the hole. He's going to get out to the 24-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Tucker Turner.
Tucker Turner, he is really having a night as far as carries. Most carries he's had in the game in his career at the varsity level. Picking up chunk yards here and there. Just doing enough to keep those sticks moving, keep Maryville in business.
Quinlan to pass this time. Steps up in the pocket, dumps it off underneath. And that's going to be enough for a first down coming out of the backfield that time. It was Tucker Turner, and Turner picks up 7 as he's ridden to the ground by Moley.
That time, Carl Moley, you could see that speed. He was there pretty quick, right on Tucker Turner. He's a specimen at linebacker. We saw early in the season when he played Blair Oaks. They had quite the stud at middle linebacker as well, and boy, Moley, he looks every bit the part.
You like that play from Quinlan, too. You don't need to get all this back at once. You can dump it off and make the smart play to pick up the first down. Long to pass again. He's going to take off and run this time. England toward that left sideline across the 35, spins, gets out of bounds. Ridden out by Grant Red. And a gain of 5 on first down for Quinlan.
Got to just keep everything in the positive. Keep everything in the positive. Keep that chain marker moving.
But that's been one key tonight, though. How many times has Maryville had a penalty or a negative play that they've got behind the chains and made it difficult, which they have overcome it quite a bit.
Yep. That was in the third quarter. We're going to put the pass behind us. Tuna Matata. See what we can do now here in the fourth. No, I don't think so either. Means no worries.
You say so. Back to pass Quinlan. On a second down and 5, steps up in the pocket, taking off again, drilled and hits the turf. Maddox chin with the tackle, but there is a flag down coming in from the white hat in the backfield, and a holding call.
I think they got Phoenix Phillips that time. He plays aggressive football. He's got a mean streak to him. I think that time young fella just got his mitts in a bad spot and holding. Ryan Lessman will have a conversation with him about that on Sunday when they watch film. He's got such a big upside, and he's just playing more and more confident, but that's the kind of a penalty that just kills your drive for the second down. But we just talked about how here in the fourth quarter they've been a little bit more error-free in regard to the yellow flags.
That is the 8th penalty of the night on Maryville. Second down and 14. Quinlan looking downfield, has some pressure, steps up. Rotterman right there, able to get by him, lowers his shoulder, barrels over 2 defenders. He'll pick up 5, a third down on the way, but some toughness that time out of your quarterback.
Man, he is, every time he runs the football, he's met with adversity. He's like running into a brick wall, and just bounces right back up, gets back in there for another play. So you don't love to see your quarterback take those kind of shots, but Derek's a tough kid.
See what Maryville can do now in a third and 9. To the left, 1 to the right. In the backfield is Turner. They're running the speed option to the right. Turner gets the pitch. He's being chased down from behind by Jackson. I don't know, that one will go for maybe 2 and well short of the sticks.
You know, you take a guy in that formation, you take a guy like Cooper Gassler out of the ball game. What happened was with no tight end on that side, you didn't have a chip. You really didn't put any hands at all on Jackson Rotterman. He came free from that backside, and boy, he was able to make a play.
So the speed option gets a couple, but not enough, guys. Maryville having a discussion on the sideline. I think they're going to call a timeout to talk this one over. A 4th and 7 is on the way from their own 35-yard line. So it's a big decision. You've got St. Pius, who really controlled the football when they've had it. 4:29 left. The way they've run the football, they could theoretically run that 4-minute offense, drive down the field, and end the game. You might not touch it again. So do you put the ball in the hands of your all-conference quarterback in state. Just the first down.
You've had a spectacular night out of both Derek Quinlan and Delton Davis. Delton Davis over 180 yards receiving. Add to that 44 yards rushing the football. He's having a big night. You use him as some sort of a decoy. Open up the field just a little bit for someone like Wyatt Garner. Cole Zarbano. Boston Hageman has had a good night. You're distributing the ball well across multiple players. And you can always count on Derek if he needs to. He can rush that football and pick up some positive yards. But when you're setting at 4th and 7, you got to dial up the right play. And I'll tell you what, if I had asked Matt Houchin to give me the right play, I think he'd get it. We're going to find out right now.
Back on the field.
Got to be no penalties. Got to be an error-free play right here.
Turner in the backfield with Derek Quinlan. 4th and 7. 4:29 left. Maryville down by 4. Got to have it. Quinlan the hard count. St. Pius doesn't jump. 7 seconds on the play clock. Takes the snap. Back to pass. Looking down the field. Fires this one. Sideline throw into the hands of his running back. Up the right sideline. There goes Turner. Turner across the 30, inside the 20. He is finally ridden out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Tucker Turner's second catch of the night. The safety valve with the huge first down.
Wow, there it is again. Huge play when you need it the most. Senior to senior, Tucker Turner. He's been toting the rock out of the backfield. You sneak him out, sidearm sling. Tucker Turner does the rest, brings it down the sideline. What a huge play. And you know what? That's just the fun that we get to watch this football team play. Never out. 4th and 7. Just sling it down the field, and here we go.
What a play. 62 yards on 4th and 7. Now on 1st and goal. To the end zone. All by himself. Delton Davis wide, not another. Maryville back in front with 4:11 to play.
Wow. What a drive. Signature drive. Maybe big-time moment right there. What a play that time. Derek Quinlan with great time, able to step into that throw. And Delton Davis somehow, some way, absolutely wide open. Those sometimes can be the hardest to catch when there's nobody around you.
Hardest to catch, hardest to throw.
Man.
That was one where Davis was, I'm gonna catch this, go to the ground, secure it, and make sure nothing can happen. And Maryville goes back in front as Noah Bellamy on for the PAT. The rush from St. Pius, not going to get there. Noah, he stays perfect on PAT on the season. And it's back to a 3-point game. 4:11 left to go. We go from thinking maybe Maryville won't get the football back after a punt to saying, well, now Maryville just needs to stop. 3-point ball game. We'll take a timeout. Back with more on KXTV Maryville, KRNW Chillicothe.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Pitzenberger Auto Body in Maryville, providing auto collision repair and taking the dents out of accidents. Pitzenberger's also installs ultimate truck bed liners. For more at 660-582-4599 or facebook.com/PitzBodyShop.
Support for Spooftown football comes from Midwest Data Center, specializing in IT and cybersecurity services, including advanced threat monitoring, intrusion prevention, and zero trust solutions. Midwest Data Center, located just off the square in Maryville, and online at mwdata.net.
4:11 to play. Maryville in front, 39-36. 4th and 7. A 62-yard pass goes from Derek Quinlan to Tucker Turner. It sets up on the very next play a touchdown pass from Quinlan to Davis. Support for tonight's football game comes from the St. Joseph Sports Commission, preparing for the first St. Joseph Marathon September 23rd, starting and finishing behind Civic Center Park in downtown St. Joe. Race distances include the full marathon, half marathon, 10K, 5K, and a relay. Registration is open. STJOMOsports.com. Philip Horan, our spotter, Adam Teal, actually said he feels like he's run a marathon tonight with the way this football game's gone. But you know what the great part is at the end of that? You get that runner's high, that good feeling.
Take you into the weekend.
Will we get it tonight?
We're going to get it tonight. I'll tell you what, the referees, they're the true heroes. They're the ones that are putting in the miles.
Those guys got to be exhausted. Pooch kick high from Bellamy. This one comes down to the 35-yard line. Maryville converges. It's going to be good field position for St. Pius right around their own 40-yard line.
This is where we'll see if this Maryville defensive line, inspired by that last drive, can rise up, create a little havoc when we needed it the most. It seems to me like Major Scarborough has been the guy that's been able to get through that line of scrimmage and disrupt some plays. It's go time if you're Maryville defense.
We've seen him make some plays this year. We've seen Boston Hageman come down, interceptions, Wyatt Garner. We've seen Jackson Wilson get in the backfield and wreak havoc. Lucas Beercaller, he's going to be the hero tonight. Hudson Bailey gives it off to Larry Cascone. Cascone gets hit hard. Boston Hageman and Coles Arbano both there. Inside 4 minutes to play. And that's a gain of 6 on first down.
Maryville looking good in their black and their yellow unis tonight, but there's going to be a lot of high school boys walking around Maryville tomorrow with a lot of black and blue marks on their shoulders, their arms, their forearms. It's one of those kind of nights, just a bruising attack here by the Warriors.
Cascone with 30 carries. He might just stay in bed tonight. Might not be able to get out of bed. Had 33 carries on the season coming in, 30 tonight alone. Rotterman in motion, left to right across the formation. They give to Cascone to follow Rotterman. He is hit by Don Allen. Delton Davis getting in there. He's going to be short of the first down marker. A 3rd and 1 coming up as we come up on 3 minutes left to play.
Don Allen, he just kind of put everything he could into that tackle just to try and make sure he didn't pick up that first on that carry. Keep the clock moving. Of note, St. Pius has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 3 minutes left in this ball game. Then exciting game started.
Bailey gives the Cascone again on 3rd down and 1. Lowers his shoulder. He'll pick up 3.
Looked like Cooper Lowe from last year just submarining his way to get those couple of yards he needed for a first down. And Larry Cascone's night continues.
Clock still ticking. 3 timeouts for St. Pius, so plenty of timeouts. They've got plenty of time. They continue to run the football. Again, a penalty, a tackle for loss, someone dislodging that football. Spoofhounds need something big. Bailey's going to throw this time. He dumps it off underneath Jackson Rotterman all by himself. He breaks through a tackle up the right sideline. He's going to take this one into the end zone. 48 yards, celebrates as he goes in. The taunting flag comes out, but St. Pius is back on top by 3.
Not a smart penalty that time. Jackson Rotterman celebrating at about the 5-yard line, holding that football up in the air. And referees quickly throw the penalty flag there, as they should have. We saw that in week 1. Blair Oaks, same thing. Strutting down the sideline, throwing out the old Tyreek Hill peace sign. Also drew the ire of the officials.
And me.
And you, because you don't like Tyreek Hill, nor do you like the Chiefs. We've kind of covered that tonight.
But Pius, despite the penalty, fired up on that sideline. And boy, you know, you pound Larry Cascone tonight 32 times, that whenever they leaked out Rotterman, Maryville committing to that run so hard, Rotterman's been wide open. They get a big one there. So now a big PAT on the way for Julian Abella. He's got a big leg. He's been nailed on extra points this evening, but right now a 3-point game. This is a big one. Maryville rushing the high snap, the kick on the way, and it is right there. Maryville showed the rush on the PAT. The snap was high, and Abella pulled that one to the left, and so Maryville now just a field goal away from tying it up. But also, if you score quickly, you kind of put St. Pius in a bit of a bind. You can't just march Abella down there and expect him to drill a 30-yard field goal to tie it up.
Listen,
I'm all ears.
The most nervous guy in the stadium right now, Noah Bellamy. He is perfect on points after touchdown, 13 of 13. Young man hasn't attempted a field goal yet this year.
Now,
but he can do it. He's got the leg for it.
He's got the leg for it. But you know, everybody on that sideline right now is thinking, hey, Noah, you're going to come on here and kick the PAT. That's going to make it a 4-point game.
That's right. Absolutely. Don't worry about a thing, fella. We got you covered. Hey, looking at a couple things on the records book, and I know this game's not over. We want to win more than we want records. But I want to let you know that in 1998, the single-game passing record was set by Nick Glassnap. I hope I said that right, Nick. Passing for 297 yards. He did it against St. Pius. Derek Quinlan tonight, 383 passing yards. So we've broken one record. Want to tell you about the single game receiving record set in 2009 by Tyler Walter, 160 yards, 64 yards receiving. Delton Davis, 189 yards receiving. So some records getting broken tonight by some truly amazing hounds who we've seen their careers over the last couple of years just flourish. And tonight is a great example of that. And I don't think they're done yet.
2:24 to play. Isabella to kick it off from his own 25-yard line. Remember that taunting call as that touchdown for Waterman. The ball being returned from the 17-yard line. Don Allen across the field, across the 35-yard line. Has a lane up the left sideline. Hit by Isabella. The kicker lays the lumber. But great field position for Don Allen as he is down. Looks like it'll be the 49-yard line. Abella's a big boy.
Abella's a big boy. He's pretty thick from the waist down. Looks like he can play running back from most teams.
Listen, if you're Don Allen, you can't go down.
No.
Kicker hits you as hard as he can. Like
he would never hear the end of that. Absolutely.
So now that taunting call
big
plays
time.
a big role.
Big time. Absolutely. Of course, you don't want to see St. Pius score that touchdown, but you know what? Sometimes young fellas do things that your coaches wish they wouldn't, and that sets Maryville up in really sharp position here.
From midfield, they'll spot him at the 50-yard line with 2:17 to play. Derek Quinlan to pass, rolling to his right, fires this one low. It is scooped up, but it skipped off the ground, incomplete.
Rolling to his right that time, and we've just seen him a little bit off tonight on some of those passes where they've been low. Even that last touchdown pass, a little bit in front of Delton Davis, but you know what? Doesn't matter. Touchdown, put points on the board. He's able to secure it. That time, just a little bit underthrown.
Second and 10 with Turner lining up behind Quinlan, two receivers to each side, out of the pistol formation. Back to passes Derek Quinlan, looks to his right, now running to his right, has a turn back to his left. He gets wrapped up in the backfield, avoids one tackle, pointing downfield. He'll hit this one deep, has a receiver. It is caught inside the 20, and Grant Red wrestles him down inside the 15. A Houdini act by Derek Quinlan. Wyatt Garner comes up with it, and Maryville's in scoring position.
Looked like he was in handcuffs. He had 3 or 4 guys coming out from all directions, gets out of it, points downfield, point guard Derek, launches it downfield. Wyatt Garner, huge catch, sets Maryville up in fantastic position. About 2 minutes left in the ball game, and you just want to make sure that you don't leave any extra time for St. Pius, but you are well within field goal range now.
You're so jacked up, you get downfield, you say, hey guys, we got time. We don't want to get out of rhythm, but we got time. The 36-yard pass play. Quinlan to pass again on 1st and 10. Gets away from one man, throws to the end zone. That one goes incomplete. He was nearly tracked down that time by a St. Pius linebacker, Braden Marshall.
And Matt, that was Quinlan's 31st pass attempt. So he is putting it in the air a whole bunch this evening and might need just about 2 or 3 more out of him to what we hope will secure this football game.
90 seconds left. Maryville has 2 timeouts. St. Pius has all 3. St. Pius is in front, 32-39. Handoff goes to Turner. Turner goes up the middle. He is hit, and he'll pick up about 3 before he goes down. Tucker Turner getting in the action tonight. 11 carries now. He also has 2 catches, including a 62-yarder.
None bigger than that 62-yard catch for Tucker Turner. That was a 4th down play, and man, he made something out of nothing on that play. And boy, he's got to get a couple more carries. I hope he's up to 45 yards.
Inside a minute left to play. Out of the pistol. Quinlan looking, steps up. He's going to take off and run himself. Lowers his shoulder across the goal line into the end zone. Maryville back in front. 13 yards. The senior quarterback gives the Spoof Hounds the lead.
Directing traffic again. Looked to me like there was a blitz coming from that middle linebacker. I think Derek picked that up, and he knew that he could run straight down the middle of the field, put a little shimmy shake on. Touchdown, Maryville, right back in front. Noah Bellamy on for the point after a touchdown.
Just like you said, we would see Noah Bellamy come up with a big kick. It would be right here on the PAT. A chance to make this a 4-point game and not allow Pius to settle for a potential game-time field goal. And they jump offside, turn right, about 5 yards upfield, and then turned around and walked back. He knew it. so that'll make this a slightly shorter PAT for Bellamy. Well, actually, Coach Webb looks like he's pointing, saying, we want to take that on the kickoff instead.
What do they do now?
So we'll keep it right where it is, but how big is it to get a piece of these defenders right now? Don't let them get back there and get a piece of this extra point.
Huge extra point coming in here for Noah Bellamy. We talked about it just like now. He's 13 to 13 on the season. I know.
Maryville crowd on their feet, trying to make this a 4-point game. Snap good, hold down, kick on the way from Noah.
14, you can't. Jinx or no jinx, he's on it.
46-42. Maryville in front by 4 points with 52 seconds remaining. 3 timeouts still for St. Pius. Anthony Simone, a 2002 St. Pius graduate, telling his team right now, we're good, no big deal. Hudson Bailey's had a good ball game so far tonight. He has 17 completions. He is right around 300 yards passing. He's thrown 5 touchdowns.
Three timeouts remain for St. Pius. Still have to play disciplined, stout defense. Coaches are going to get these guys coached up. Takes one play, just one play from your Maryville Spoofhounds to close this game out with just 52 seconds left on the clock. So, not sure if you go pooch here. I know you don't want to kick it back to Michael Red. He's burned us before. Let's not get burned again.
Now, I mentioned that the offside, Maryville did take it on the PAT. They couldn't move it up on this kickoff. Thanks for letting Phil make it sure I got that one right. So from the 40-yard line, Noah will kick it off like we normally see, and it's a high end over and kick on that left sideline. A fair catch called for inside the 35-yard line. 66 and 67 yards to go for St. Pius if they want to pick up conference win number 2. What a game. I mean, how do you match this?
I was thinking about that. You know, we were here for that Savannah district game. Big plays all over it. Probably, it's got to be one of the best high school football games compared to this one here tonight. So, of course, this one is not over, long from over. So we'll see how this defense rises up. See what they can do to shut this offense down.
Last possession. Who's going to be the hero? Who can make the play defensively? You know Hudson Bailey has to come out and throw the football now. There could be a few runs missed there. Can you pass rush and St. Louis? Can someone tip a ball? Can you come up with the interception to close this game out? 52 seconds left. Bailey takes the snap. Back to pass. Great pressure from Scarborough. Steps up. Bailey gets rid of it. Finds Roderick down the scheme. Couldn't bring it in. Would have had it near the 45-yard line. Good vision from the sophomore and found the open receiver but couldn't hook up. So
Rodman just running down the seam that time and not enough on it. Pass rush probably got a little bit into Hudson Bailey's head right there, but you can see not thinking run now, thinking pass all the way. You've got to keep these guys in front of you. You've got to play well disciplined. Do not let anybody back behind you.
2nd and 10 here for St. Pius. The Maryville D-line has to be a little more down from the run, but playing on adrenaline right now. Sadler View showing blitz. He's coming. Back to pass is Bailey. Rolls to his left now as Lucas Viertaler got in the backfield. Fires this one back across the middle. Looking to hit the receiver, and it is caught down to the 30-yard line. That one brought in by Tommy Hutzler.
Tommy Hutzler continues his big night for the Warriors. They're going to get this ball set. Clock would run, but looks like St. Pius is going to burn one of their timeouts.
35-yard pass play. Wow, what a throw from Bailey. Got outside the pocket, had some pressure that time, and put it on the money. Hutzler, he has had himself a game, his 7th catch of the night.
And because Noah Bellamy's 14 of 14 on the season, connected on that last PAT, a field goal doesn't help you here. If you are St. Pius, you got to go for the whole shoot match. This is exactly what happened last year. Came down to Maryville with the ball, not much time left on the clock, marched down the field. A big play by the St. Pius defense snuffed out that drive, but Maryville could not go for field goal. They had to get a touchdown, and that's the same spot Pius is in here on our home turf here tonight at the Hound Pound.
Nobody sitting here in Maryville for this one. 46-42, Spoof Hen lead with 38 seconds. St. Pius timeout. They still have 2 remaining. They got the ball now at the Maryville 30-yard line. So if you're Anthony Simone and company, not too bad. That was a big chunk that they had to have. Out on that defensive line for Maryville. Jackson Nielsen, Wesley Steed, Lucas Biertaller, Major Scarborough. Delton Davis also showing blitz. That left outside the linebacker position. Larry Cascone lined up to the right of Bailey. Bailey back to pass once again. Steps up, fires across the middle. It is incomplete. Irby got clocked that time by Hageman. Looked at the official and asked for the helmet-to-helmet call. It looked like Hageman might have done enough to not really unload like he could have on Irby, but that one falls incomplete.
And if you're looking for knockout blows, it's Hageman 2, St. Pius 0. He was step for step, and he was ready to lay the lumber. Had Irby caught that ball, he might have separated from him.
Come on, dude! Second and 10, a big play that time by the safety. Only 32 seconds remaining. The 46-42 Maryville lead. Jackson Rotterman will line up just off the right of the offensive line at his tight end position. They fake to give to Cascone. Pressure in Bailey's face. That's off in the reach. It is incomplete for Rotterman. Big hit from Scarborough that time on Bailey. And Bailey yelling at the head official asking for that roughing the passer call.
Sophomore quarterback getting a little bit of pressure on him. Might be seeing a little kink in his armor. That time Scarborough yet again living in their backfield. He's made some huge plays here on 3rd down. Will Maryville send another backer? They've sent one on each of those in a blitz. Whose turn will it be this time? You got the speed of Delton Davis. I might be interested in sending to him, see what he can do, see if he can get that backfield and shut this passing game down.
28 seconds left to play. Bailey out of the shotgun. Looked like some movement, no whistle. Bailey looking to throw across the middle. This one is caught by his receiver. Pulls Arbano with the tackle at the 18-yard line. 21 seconds as the clock stops for the change to move.
You think St. Pius will take their timeout here? They've got 2 remaining.
Bailey looks like he wants to call a timeout, and now they will. That's an 11-yard play. 21 seconds left. St. Pius has the ball on the Maryville 19-yard line. Max Irby, I believe, called that one in. Irby's 6th catch of the night. What a game. Kind of catching our breath at this point, right? 21 seconds left, a 4-point game. We called it early on. It's going to be in the 30s or 40s. You know, who's going to be able to find a way to make that one extra play? Maryville able to get in front. St. Pius threatening as they are inside the red zone.
And you're looking to see who is going to step up and make that next big play. You've seen some disruption from the quarterback. You think you got this young guy rattled. He steps right back up and makes a big throw. He's been doing a lot of talking with the white hat. I think he thinks he's getting a little bigger than he should, getting knocked to the ground over and over again. But you know that's living in his head just a little bit. Maybe he makes a bad throw, pick it off. Something big needs to happen here for these Spoof-Hounds.
Bailey to pass on 1st and 10. Fires looking for the end zone. Goes to Hustler. It is picked off. Don Allen. Pass underthrown. And Allen makes the play to seal the deal.
Burn me once. Turf me twice. You're not going to get me 3 times, buddy. Attaboy Don Allen anticipating that. They set that up like they had previous touchdown. Sending Hustler off to the side, going one-on-one with Don Allen. Don Allen makes the play that time.
You're telling me not everybody in the stadium held their breath when they looked and threw that one to the corner?
Listen, Don Allen was going to be on that. You knew it. He was not going to get that anything but an interception.
A flag down on Maryville. A little celebration on the field prior to coming off. 15 seconds left. There is 1 timeout remaining. And so now some good sportsmanship on the field as well. Shaking hands down on the field. Lucas Biertaller, Cooper Gassler, and some others, because for as much as these 2 teams really don't like each other, there is a lot of respect between these 2 programs right now.
lot of celebration going on down the sidelines. Student section, they are juiced tonight. And this victory is going to be one of those that we talk about for years to come. We'll kind of get the stats all stuffed up here at the end of the game, but I think there's some records that went down tonight, and rightfully so. Some huge play by some of these Spoofhound seniors, but you can't overlook the fact that you've got kids on all layers contributing, freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and of course your seniors providing that leadership. What a great game here tonight for the Hounds.
You heard it right there. Andy Peterson said he did his job for the night. He got the Spoofhound win. He's heading home.
He's got to get a head start on Fort Hayes. Get us a victory tomorrow.
I think I'm going to say beating the traffic. Big crowd here.
Big crowd here tonight. You got that right. There's some folks that are thinking about heading out.
But I feel like the people thinking about heading out mainly are probably wearing blue and gold this evening. But St. Pius played a heck of a ball game.
They sure did. They've got a bright future in front of them. They're going to win a lot of games in the MSC. But we talked about it early. This is the one team that can match Maryville athlete for athlete. And all night long we saw that. But, boy, the grit and determination of these Hounds at the end. Unbelievable game.
Derek Quinlan wheels on it. Clock ticking down. St. Pius runs to their sideline. Maryville running off toward their bench as well, as this one is all wrapped up. The Spoofhounds come away with a 46-42 victory to improve the 2-0 in conference play. And how about that ball game? It doesn't get much better than that. What do you know, Derek Quinlan running off the field with the football, tells the officials that they come off, good game, then runs over and gets in line to shake hands with the Pius players.
What a game, what an environment here tonight. And you'd love to see it here at the end. Some of the star athletes, some of the stars of this game getting each other's face, saying great game, great game. Derek Quinlan leading that charge. What a fantastic football game here tonight. And hopefully you're able to listen either on the app, listen on the radio, watch it on Spoofhound Athletics on the YouTube page. Regardless, great ball game, great way to kick off the weekend, and hope this momentum in Maryville continues and see the Spoofhounds win here tonight. Bearcats hopefully can pick up a W tomorrow.
The Spoofhound fans fired up as, again, the handshake line, both teams still going through it, and some big hugs for these Maryville players down on the sideline. Spoofhounds win it by the final score, 46-42. Maryville improves to 3-1 on the season and 2-0 in conference play. Meanwhile, St. Pius falls to 3-1 overall, and they are now 1-1 in the MAC. Maryville wins at 46-42. We'll take a timeout. We'll try to somehow get all these stats under control and figure it out. We'll also have head coach Matt Webb joining us shortly as well. So stick around. A lot coming for you here on Spoofhound Postgame.
Support for the Spoofhounds on radio comes from Mosaic Medical Center of Maryville, providing comprehensive care close to home. For more information or to schedule an appointment, 660-562-2525 or mymlc.com/Maryville. And from local Edward Jones Financial Advisors, offering retirement and investment advice to help customers reach financial goals. Jeanette Paget, J.R. Kurz, Jeff Von Barron, Chad Hannigan, and Scott Nielsen of Edward Jones Maryville are proud supporters of the Spoofhounds. Also, from Maryville Shelter Insurance Agent Brad Ford, a proud supporter of the Spoofhounds. Brad provides coverage for auto, home, life, and business, 24 hours claims assistance, and insurance reviews. More at 562-2911 or in office at 102 North Buchanan. And Nucor LMP on East 1st in Maryville, specializing in cold-finished steel products while emphasizing safety for its employees. Nucor is a proud supporter of Spoofhound Athletics. For more information, 660-582-3127.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Pitzenberger Auto Body in Maryville, providing auto collision repair and taking the dents out of accidents. Pitzenberger's also installs ultimate truck bed liners. More at 660-582-4599 or facebook.com/Pitts Body Shop. And from the United States Air Force, offering more than 130 career choices, education, benefits, and more. Full and part-time opportunities are available now. For more information, Technical Sergeant Katrina Smith can be reached at 816-341-8227 or airforce.com. Also from Millen Dinsdale Seed, serving farmers across the region for over a decade. Millen Dinsdale represents Golden Harvest Seed, Pivot Bio Proven 40, and Precision Planting. To learn more, millendinsdaleseed.com. And U.S. Bank, providing banking services to Northwest students and the community. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Spoofhound Athletics and Maryville High School. More on their products, services, and locations is at usbank.com.
This is Spoofhound Postgame on KXCV KRNW.
Big time win this evening for Maryville, 46-42 over St. Pius. Alongside Philip Horn, I'm Matt Trid. The Spoofhounds got the go-ahead touchdown with less than a minute left to go in the ballgame. And then Don Allen came up with the big-time interception. Hudson Bailey went back looking for Tommy Hutzler, who had a terrific game. Hutzler on the evening pulled in 3 touchdown receptions, but could not come away with his 4th as Don Allen went up high, brought in that interception, and Maryville survives St. Pius by the final score of 46-42. And top to bottom, Philip, that's just a terrific high school football game.
Terrific high school game. We mentioned it as we were going toward the zeros on the clock, but you got production from every layer. You've got a freshman who's playing lights out on the offensive line. You've got a sophomore who's disrupting things on the defensive side and playing really well on the offensive side of the ball. You've got juniors on the field. You've got senior leadership everywhere. And then nothing but records being broken here tonight by Derek Quinlan and Delton Davis. So these are completely unofficial stats, but we've been pretty darn close each week. I've got 573 yards of total offense, 419 of those coming through the air. Derek Quinlan, 18 of 31, 4 touchdowns through the air, 1 touchdown rushing. And, oh, by the way, adds 61 yards rushing to his night. So Derek Quinlan in the 475-ish range, 480 range as far as total yards, 480 total yards for the night. And then Delton Davis, what a night for him. 189 yards receiving, a spectacular 90-yard touchdown reception, and then he adds 44 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Tucker Turner had a big night, big play receiving, rushed the ball 11 times, 44 yards for him, so he had a big night as well. And then you talk about Don Allen, and nothing bigger than that play at the end. Not only to have a big 38-yard reception early in the game, but then he seals the game there at the end by that interception. All night long, that seemed to be a play that was working Hudson Bailey to Tommy Hutzler, but not that time. Not that time. Game over.
Just an incredible football game, top to bottom. 573 yards of total offense. That is
staggering.
Incredible. Now, walk us through. You mentioned a little bit earlier, walk us through the records that we project, and again, this isn't official, but that we project that were broken this evening.
Yeah, so single game passing was set in 1998, and again, I hope I say this right, Nick Glassnap, 297, and as I mentioned, that happened to be against St. Pius, 297 against St. Pius in 98. That record all but shattered by Quinlan, 419 yards here tonight. And then your single game receiving was 2009, held by Tyler Walter, 164 yards. And again, Delton Davis D-squared, 189 receiving yards tonight. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say some records broken here at the Hound Pound tonight. And, boy, exciting football.
Exciting to say the least. Maryville trailing in this one, 21-18 at halftime. Our final score, 46-42, as the Hounds came up with the plays when they needed them. Joining us now, it is Maryville head football coach Matt Webb. Coach, what a game, first of all. I mean, big play after big play, and we could have taken that third quarter alone and just dissected it for half an hour. But what do you say to the team? What are the emotions right now on that field?
It was a lot of emotions. The thing I'm most proud of is we talked about learning each week, you know, like we've done week 1 to week 2 to week 3, and now we've gotten ourselves in a nail biter here that we're continuing to learn. We just learned, you know, how to beat a top-ranked team at home. It's a youth night. It's a home opener. We talk about culture and community, and we talked about this being, you have season-defining moments, and you never know when they're going to happen. And you have game-defining plays. And, the first half, I thought defense were doing really good. We're stopping the run. We slipped and fell on a couple coverage things, and, next thing you know, it's 3 touchdowns. But it's really off of 3 plays, and then offense, executing, the big plays weren't necessarily kind of happening, but we were executing. We got up, and then they came back and made it 21-18 at half, So I told the team at halftime, listen, we're right there where we're at. We've been learning. Now it's basically 0-0. Let's go. Well, I had no idea it'd turn into a shootout, but it turned into a real chess coaching match between their offense and us trying to make some checks and some different alignments and things on defense, and then, man, our offense. I'm glad we got 4 and all those skill guys, and we got a freshman offensive tackle stepping up and making some really big blocks that's helping our depth on the O and D line, and Mason McKim stepping in, Phoenix Phillips, those got 2 new guys. Just keep learning, and what a game. We call it Hound Pound Magic, and boy, it was around here tonight, man.
You couldn't have said that any better. Hound Pound Magic. We expected a good game, maybe not that exactly. As we look at this late, I'm trying to remember exactly what the score was, but maybe it was 42-39, and there's 4.5 minutes left, 4th and 7. From your own 35, you send the punt team out, and then you call timeout, and you bring them back. We discussed up here, there's a chance that if they continue to run the football well, like they did throughout a lot of that third quarter, fourth quarter, whatever, you might not get the football back. What's the discussion on the sideline to say, you know what, we're going to go for it and trust these guys?
Well, I love my offensive coordinator, Matt Houchin, and over the headsets we kind of talked, and we had sent our punt team out thinking that we'd need to get a stop, call our timeouts, and have a chance to go. And we just, he talked me into it. We called a timeout to talk about it with the guys, and just told them, here we go. And next thing you know, 26, Tucker Turner's running down the sideline, and here we go. And great call, coach. Those are the plays and the coaches that have done this long time where, hey, great call, coach, and you do it and you screw up, and it's, what'd you call that for, coach? But hey, it worked out tonight.
So Tucker Turner, and Delton Davis, Derek Quinlan, Don Allen, a lot of these guys. Tucker Turner grinds 11 carries constantly in that running game, but then kind of leaks out. He's by himself. Derek finds it, kind of slings it, and you see him taking off up the side. Just the work the young man has to put in to be able to be on the field in that moment is huge.
Yep, he grew up in this town. He's got a twin brother. You talk about youth night and all that little stuff. I remember Tucker when he was a little squirt running around youth football with his head shaved and, weird haircuts. And he's a senior, he's making plays. And it's time, we talk about tradition never graduates. Tucker Turner, knows what our tradition is. And man, it's his time now. He sat behind Cooper Lowe last year, and he sat behind guys, and he played his role. He's a teammate, and we talk about all our seniors and what they mean. And, it's an awesome experience to see, kids, have their moment like that, and many moments to come.
Delton Davis with a carry, goes about 4 yards, gets to the 10-yard line down here. A nifty spin move, finds his way into the end zone. Another one down here, little quick slant or something where he catches it, gets to the middle of the field, stops, reverses back, beats everybody down the sideline for a 90-yard touchdown. Are you guys taking ballet classes? Where's the footwork coming from?
I wish I could say we teach it. You know what I'm saying? He's a playmaker, and what our offense is able to do is get it to those guys in space. We talk about being multiple and all the coach stuff and everything. Bottom line is we got a bunch of skill players that can make plays, and when you get them in space, good things like that happen. And again, senior captain, stepping up in a big time moment, making a lot of plays tonight.
It's hard to top a game like this, but you've got homecoming next week, a great crowd tonight. We'd love to see that right back here next week against Cameron. That'll be another fun MEC matchup.
You bet. We're at home again, so everybody, let's not. Well, this will give you a heart attack when you have another one like this. I don't want to say let's do this again, but let's get back out here and enjoy these players and these moments, and because they go by fast. And unofficially, we'd be amiss not to talk about. From what I understand, unofficially on the stats, I think we now have Derek Quinlan, another senior, making plays, the single game passing record tonight. I think he threw for over 400 yards is what I was told walking off the field. So that's an unbelievable accomplishment by a young man that keeps his eyes downfield, and he's disciplined, and he's come a long way. And man, you get a passing record like that, that's pretty awesome.
Heady plays, though, too. He had some timely runs and made the smart play there, but then also keeps his eyes down the field. Is it just experience? Is it being on the field? Is it film study with Coach Houchin?
Yeah, it is, and it's it's kind of a camaraderie deal, or a cohesion deal that you're going to think it's silly. One of the best plays I think he made tonight. He was running around back there. He was pinned in. He was getting ready to get sacked, and instead of it being 3rd and 20 like it was against Blair Oaks, I saw him throw the ball out of bounds and take an incomplete pass, and next thing you know, it's 3rd and 10 instead of 3rd and 20, and that makes a difference, because he's learning to make plays with his feet and keep his eyes downfield and do all those things and hit the guys when they're open. But man, when you got a chance to throw it away, it just goes down as an incomplete, but it gets us in a better situation on the next down.
A heck of a player, Delton Davis, also a night unofficially record-setting. We'll see how it goes, but one heck of a night offensively. It's sealed by an interception. Your defense. You talked about Don Allen a little bit before, though. It had some moments where he slipped, and Tommy Hutzler's a big kid out there. But boy, that's pretty fearless to be able to step up and be like, I got this kid in the corner by myself.
You bet. As I told the team in our huddle down there, football, we talk about, teaches you life lessons. And, Don maybe slipped a couple plays and gave up a touchdown, and there's a lot of things. It's not Don that gave up a touchdown. There's other guys in the coverage that weren't in their spot. But told the guys, hey, that's a lesson in life. A lot of times, you can get beat, you can be down, all right, but at the end you stand up and you make a play, and that's exactly what happened with Don. Very proud of that last interception. There's a lot of those to come, but that's a lesson in life that he just learned on the football field, and a bunch of young people learned tonight, that you never quit and you make a play in the end. That was great.
Coach Webb, nice win, and hopefully you can get some sleep tonight.
Hope so.
Maryville head football coach Matt Webb joining us. The Spoof Hounds with a 46-42 victory, now 2-0 in conference play and 3-1 overall. We'll take a break and be back to wrap things up here on KXCV, KRNW.
Support for the Spoof Hounds on radio comes from Nottoway Valley Bank. NVB has been serving generations of Northwest Missouri families for more than 150 years. More information on location or online at